Hello. Hello. Ah, we're live. Damn. Yo, pork chop. What up? Yes, we will indeed see what makes it into the top 25 today. That is the plan, at least. Oh boy. Although, I guess it is a little lie. Hello, hello. I guess it's a little lie. I did say I was going to do 50, but it is actually only 49. And, hold on. Get rid of that thing. So yeah. Alright. So I was gonna do the last 50, but it turns out to only be the last 49. And the reason for that was because I realized I did another blunder. Yeah, I added another show that's not a TV series. See, it's easy to do. Sometimes you just think to yourself, like, ah, yes, of course, that's a TV series. And it's like, no, technically, Devilman Crybaby is a no and A if you're gonna be specific about it. So, you know, I decided, sure, for the sake of argument, it's gone. How are you doing? I hope you're having an awesome week. My week has been relaxing for once, which is good enough. Had an eventful time before Christmas, and yeah. So just getting to relax and whatnot, and counting down the last days of my time off is basically all I'm doing right now. Yeah. Hope you've been having a good week as well. It should be good. Starting a new year, setting new goals, which currently my goal is just to not fail, you know. I have a bachelor degree to get, a bachelor thesis to finish this semester, and then I should be all done, so that is basically what I'm doing this semester. And then I'm done. And then we'll see what happens after that. I need to get a job. I need to make videos. That's very important. Alright. I think we can wait a couple more minutes before we start, just to see if there's anybody else that wants to join, and if not, then we're just gonna start. Not had a bad week, all things considered. That's good. That's good. Not having a bad week is good enough. Having a good week is ideal. Not having a bad week is good enough. Having a bad week, I don't know. Go next, I guess. Nothing much you can do about that. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna be going through shows like Yakashi, My Hero Academia, like a lot of good shows, and a lot of shows that are definitely not belonging in this list that I enjoy, but you know, again, like I said before, these are only the most objective shows taken from my list. Objective because I say so. Keep up the hard work and the thank you. It just feels kind of strange to me. Keep up the hard work, and I look at my channel and I'm just like, haven't uploaded a real video in like 3 months. Hard work, yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's me. Oh well. No use getting down about it. It is what it is. It's the situation I'm in, and I just gotta find the time to actually work on stuff. Just gotta find the time. That is basically it. 4 minutes. Also, by the way, let me know if the music is too loud, or not loud enough, I guess. Just in case. There are some of my favorites in this currently. Ooh. Nice. I'm glad to hear. Glad to hear it's not just me, and I could have been really awkward if it was just like all the 100 shows I picked were shows that only I enjoyed. That would have been awkward. That would have been awkward indeed. But yeah. So again, basically we're going to be going through the last 49 now shows, and at the end, because hopefully it's not going to take too long. Like, it'll probably take around 3 hours like last time, but hopefully it won't take too long. And then we're going to sort of rearrange the top 25, because that's going to be a little easier once we know what's actually on it. Because I know, like, right now there's some stuff that I find a little weird. Like, Not sure about Kuroko no Basuke and Shinsekai no Yori being there, and like 19th and 20th. Maybe flipped, I don't know. Flying Witch better than Great Teacher Onizuka? I think so. But Maiden Abyss, is it not better? I don't know. NHK, does NHK belong in 10th? It seems a little high to me. I mean, I like it. It's very good. 10th? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Nothing is decided until it's been decided. 5% loud? Alright then. Alright then, I mean, I guess I can turn it down a smidge more. Like there, maybe? I don't know. Something like that. I just don't want it to be overpowering me, that's all. But again, if it gets too bad, then just let me know. But alright, it's been like 6 minutes now. I think it's about time we actually get started on this, instead of just sitting here and talking. So the first thing we are going to be looking at, if it belongs or not, is Ayakashi Japanese Classic Horror. So, yeah. Ayakashi Japanese Classic Horror. It's a series from 2006. 11 episodes from Toei Animation. Fantasy, horror, and mystery. And basically, this is sort of like a horror anthology series. In a way, it's a collection of 3 classic Japanese horror stories. Yotsuya Kaidan, the story of a wife betrayed by her husband who seeks revenge, even in death. Tenshu Monogatari, the story of forbidden love between a goddess and a human. And Bakeneko, the story of a mysterious cat monster with a vendetta against a certain family. And the Bakeneko story would later go on to become Mononoke, the story about the medicine seller, which is like, it's more than just the Bakeneko arc, it's sort of adding more stories to that again. Which, by the way, Mononoke is very good. And, yeah. So this is sort of where it all came from. It's, yeah, it's an anthology. It's a lot of fun. A little up and down, I feel, because, the second story, Tenshu Monogatari, I wouldn't really call that a, like, horror story myself. As much as it, like, a story of forbidden love. Yeah, I'd say that feels it a lot more. It's not particularly scary. So, that is basically it. So, as far as this is concerned, I definitely like Mononoke more than Ayakashi. But I do like Ayakashi. Ayakashi is still good. It's some good stories. It's interestingly made. Being from different people as well, having sort of taken charge of their own part of the story. It's sort of like, it gives you a little bit of different ideas behind how to handle a show. And, yeah. It's definitely good. However, I don't think that it belongs on the list of top 25. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's that good. I do not think it is that good. One is up on the landscape. Wondered if you had seen any of the others, like Robotics Note or Chaos Head. Chaos Head I've seen. I've not seen Robotics Note. Chaos Head, I liked it to a certain extent, but it's not my favorite show in the world, to put it bluntly. And you know, that's just, yeah, sort of fell off for me a little bit. And Robotics Note I never saw. It's been years since I heard the series mentioned. It was good to watch back in the day. Yeah, basically. It was a fun watch, and not sure if I'd watch it too many more times, but it's definitely an interesting one. Easy watch, 11 episodes. Don't even need to watch all of them. You can watch one story and then just sort of drop it and then come back whenever you feel like it. So yeah, next up, My Hero Academia. I remember when this show came out and everyone was going crazy about it, including me, because god damn it, My Hero Academia was actually really fun. I enjoyed this a lot. I definitely fell off the hype with My Hero Academia. I feel like it's sort of run its course. It's not that interesting anymore. Big recommend for Robotics Note. It hits right in the feels, and wow. Okay. I mean, maybe I'll consider it. Maybe I will consider it. So yeah. Basically, yeah, My Hero Academia, multiple seasons. What season are we on now? Like, fifth? Fifth season? Sixth season? I don't even know. I don't even know. 4 seasons at least, yeah. 5 seasons. 6th season? Yeah. That's like, it just keeps going. It just keeps going. We got a lot of My Hero Academia. And basically, to go through the story quickly, it's basically about the appearance of quirks. Newly discovered superpowers have been steadily increasing over the years, with 80% of humanity possessing various abilities from manipulation of elements to shapeshifting. This leaves the remainder of the world completely powerless, and Izuku Midoriya is one such individual. Since he was a child, the ambitious middle schooler has wanted nothing more than to be a hero. Izuku's unfair fate leaves him admiring heroes and taking notes of them whenever he can. But it seems that his persistence has borne some fruit. Izuku meets the #1 hero and his personal idol, All Might. All Might's quirk is a unique ability that can be inherited, and he has chosen Izuku to be his successor. And during many months of grueling training, Izuku enrolls in UA High, a prestigious high school famous for its excellent hero training program, and this year's freshmen look especially promising. With his bizarre but talented classmates and the looming threat of a villainous organization, Izuku will soon learn what it really means to be a hero. Hello, Retro Mike. Oh no, not the bot again. Oh. Can I not? I cannot. That is annoying. Why can I not? Alright, hold on. Hold on a second, I'm gonna have to do some stuff. I hate that I have to do it this way. I would like to just be able to do it in OBS, but I cannot. It will not allow me to. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Alright, there we go. Hey, Yata. What up? Bots be botting. Yeah, bots are sadly just gonna keep on appearing. It is the reality of live streams right now. On YouTube, at least. It's annoying, but nothing much I can do. So yeah, My Hero Academia. Superheroes. Training to become a superhero. Going through school to become a superhero. Commercialized superheroing. Isn't it fun? I enjoy it. Does it belong in the top 25? If you would have asked me a while ago, I would have probably said yeah. I could have easily seen this one going into the top 25. If you're asking me right now, though... Ooh, I don't know. It's a tough one. I think My Hero Academia at its best is very good. But at its worst, we get arcs like the General Criminal arc. Which is god-awful. Absolutely terrible arc. Hated that. From start to end. No, I don't think I would put it over Spice and Wolf. I don't think that's going to make it in either. Sorry, My Hero Academia. You know, you're just a couple of years too late. If I would have done this a couple of years ago, you would have definitely been in. But not anymore. I'm done with you. And this is a blast from the past for me. Coming up next, Nagi no Asukara. Nagi no Asukara. This show from 2013. A Lull in the Sea. It's definitely... This was what started my love, I think, with PA Works back in the day. And then PA Works promptly ended that. The Haikyuu Go-directed episode in Season 1 was amazing, though. All Might vs. Nomu was some animation of the highlight story. Oh, yeah, no. My Hero Academia has some great moments. Like, absolutely. But I don't know, like, it's the same thing with, like, for me, with, like, Demon Slayer, right? Demon Slayer has some amazing episodes. Some just incredible fight animation. Some just really stylish stuff. And then sort of you get the rest of the package and it's just like, does that make up for the rest of it? I don't really think so. Like, I don't dislike them. I like My Hero Academia and I like Demon Slayer, but I don't love them. And I don't really find one episode sort of makes up for that. It doesn't change my opinion in any other way than, oh yeah, that was a very good episode. Now I have to deal with the rest of the show. He's from Taiwan, so I'm biased. Zenitsu is my boy. I know you hate him, though. I don't like Zenitsu, yeah, and I've said so before, and I've been hated on a lot for saying that, because, you know, I don't understand, and I didn't read the manga, and all of that, but yeah, nah, my impression of Zenitsu is I don't care about him. I don't like him. But this isn't about Demon Slayer, not now. This is about Nagasukana. 26 episode TV series, PA Works. I love PA Works until they hit me with, what is it, Glass Lip? I think that was what sort of threw me off with them. Glass Lip was not the show I thought it would be, but damn. What's the dislike ratio on that video? Like 50-50, I think. I think it's like 50-50. Like people either like that I'm hating on Demon Slayer, or they hate that I'm hating on Zenitsu. There's no in between. There is absolutely no in between. All right. So the synopsis for Nagasukana from Mal is: long ago, all humans lived beneath the sea. However, some people preferred the surface and abandoned living underwater permanently. As a consequence, they were stripped of their God-given protection called Enna, which allowed them to breathe underwater. Over time, the rift between the denizens of the sea and the surface widened, although contact between the two peoples still existed. Nagasukana follows the story of Hikari Sakishima and Manaka Mukaido, along with their childhood friends Chisaki Hiradaira, Jesus, what a name, and Kaname Isaki, who are forced to leave the sea and attend a school on the surface. There, the group also meets Sumugu Kihara, a fellow student and fisherman who loves the sea. Hikari and his friends' lives are bound to change as they have to deal with the deep-seated hatred and discrimination between the people of sea and of the surface. The storms in their personal lives, as well as an impending tempest, which may spell doom for all who dwell on the surface. This show was quite something back in the day. So basically, for as interesting as a lot of it could be, the theme love polygon is basically what the show is. It's a love polygon. It's a whole bunch of, I like this person like that person likes this person like that person, and so on and so forth. And yeah, and then time skip. It's very pretty. I love the music. I absolutely love the music. It looks good. It's an absolute nostalgia trip for me. It is definitely a nostalgia trip for me. I see 7.99. I seem to recall that being higher, which makes sense. I can definitely see people being introduced to this way later and being like, I don't know, this isn't as good as people said it was. I feel it. But my bias, though. Lots of blue in this one. It was pleasant to look at, but very forgettable. Yeah, I can definitely feel that. I watched this in 2013, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I watched it like right at, maybe it was early 2014, because I think it was after it ended. Like just after it ended, yeah, probably. So, yeah, this is, again, it goes into that, it probably goes into that sort of realm of seasonal shows, which is, you know, people loved it. And then sort of years have passed and people just kind of moved on, and you sort of like, you don't think about it anymore. You see a lot of those shows, and I'm pretty sure Nagasukana is one of those to a lot of people. Great for its time, not great for after the season ended. And yeah, like you said, I forgot the entire storyline. Kind of same, I'm not even gonna lie. Trying to think back on it, I'm just like, I remember bits and pieces. I remember the time skip. I remember the awkwardness. I remember all of that. But like, if you were to ask me to like recall like specifics, like specific events, I'm a little bit like, I remember something with like the appeasement of the sea god and stuff and whatnot. But man, this is some. This is definitely a show that's been forgotten. I mean, Never heard of this C1. I'd figure I would have at least heard of an anime that goes into the top 25, or is that me thinking too highly of myself? I mean, depends on how much you've seen. I feel like a lot of people know Nagasukana, although seeing now it's not as popular as I used to think it was, but yeah, I don't know. But you say goes into the top 25. I don't know if it does, actually. I don't think it does. I don't think this one does either, no. You can disagree with me if you want, but I don't. Not retro enough for retro Minecrafts. You know, that could be, you could be onto something there. It's from 2013. It's not even retro yet. You know, give it like another decade, and then we can talk. Then that's retro. You know, maybe then we'll review Nagi no Asukara on the Red Leaf Retrocast Anime Podcast, because then it'll be retro enough. Might even make a video on it. It'll force me to rewatch it, and I'll have to remember the plot. Alright. Next up is Golden Time. Golden Time. This is a show. I love Polygon. This is a show that was my JC Staff show, yeah. That was my show for like that season, the fall 2013 season. Hell, it was 2 core, so 24 episodes. I love this show. A lot of people don't. A lot of people just don't love this show. It sort of gets the stick of being, well, not Toradora, being that it's by the same author. But to me, I don't know. I enjoyed the romance in Golden Time more than I did the Toradora in Toradora. I never really got on board with the romance in Toradora. I didn't really find that was anything too interesting. But Golden Time to me still stands as one of those shows that's one of the few romance anime that just decides to say, fuck it. We're gonna be a couple now, and we're gonna do the couple thing. We're gonna do couple things. We're gonna go on dates. We're gonna be awkward as shit. We're gonna be weird as fuck. We're gonna do so many adult stuff, and it's just like, and when I say adult stuff, I don't, although they did discuss sex, but you know, normal adult relationship. Mostly it's just sort of traveling, going to the beach, stuff like that. Going by car, driving themselves. Ooh, fancy. This is one of the ones I missed. I do have the DVD. Ah, nice. But yeah, nah. So the synopsis from Mal is, due to a tragic accident, Banra Tadi is stuck with amnesia, dissolving the memories of his hometown and past. However, after befriending Mitsuo Yanagisawa, he decides to move on and begin a new life at law school in Tokyo. But just as he's beginning to adjust to his college life, the beautiful Koko Kaga dramatically barges into Banri's life, and their chance meeting marks the beginning of an unforgettable year. After having a glimpse of college life, Banri learns that he is in a new place and a new world. A place where he can be reborn, have new friends, fall in love, make mistakes, and grow. And as he begins to discover who he was, the path he has chosen leads him towards a blindingly bright life that he will never want to forget. So yeah, the biggest downside of this is that this is an amnesia story, which means it sort of pulls in some very predictable plot twists, such as, once again running into the same person that he once used to like, but you know, he doesn't remember them, but then that becomes a whole thing, and a lot of stuff with like suddenly forgetting stuff again, and there is just a lot of like weird things there. So it's not, it having a 7.74 in Mal, I can understand. I really like this show. I think, like I said before, comparing it to Toradora simply because it is by the same author, I definitely think Golden Time is better than Toradora. But I can also understand why people don't like it. It's sort of, it comes with two things. How much do you like the main girl? How much do you like either, well, I guess either Kaga or Nana, but it's like whatever. There's also the a reference to Nana, another popular shoujo, but yeah, nah, it's a very good romance for me. I really enjoy the romance aspect of this, and I really enjoy sort of that perspective on romance. So for me, this is still one of my favorite romance anime, surprisingly. I didn't expect that. You ever thought about making a Path Labor video? I have thought about making a Path Labor video. we already did a podcast on Pat Labor, so we have talked about it. I also did like a recommendation of Pat Labor, but yeah, I definitely do want to make a sort of a video on Pat Labor. But I still have some more Pat Labor I need to watch. I watched the early days OVA and I watched the first 2 movies. There's still one more movie I need to see because, you know, people have thoughts on that and I'm curious to see what it actually is. I'd probably have to do that before I actually make the video, but we shall see. We shall see. Golden time. Golden time. Oh. Man. See, for me, Golden Time would definitely make it in to the top 25. But I'm sort of torn between, like, my own thoughts and kind of, like, how good it actually is. That's a bit of an issue for me right now. I'm not entirely certain. Yeah. Sorry, Spice and Wolf. You are going to have to go. And I think up to Rainbow? I think it would be here. Like this. For me. Personally. In case anybody has any objections to this, speak now. When this is done, post a list on Twitter. There are a few I legit haven't seen and want to check out. Oh yeah, I can definitely post the final 25 on Twitter. That'll be interesting. Like I said, the entire point of this isn't so much to rank the top 25 like in an objective manner. It is mostly to see kind of like with feedback as well. Because remember, any of you guys can come with your own thoughts in case you disagree with me, and we can sort of talk about it for a little bit. You can try to change my mind on stuff. I just have the last say. And yeah, try to see sort of how a top 25 develops and what it will eventually end up looking like when we're done with it. That's the idea with this little stream that I'm doing, and it'll definitely be interesting because I'm expecting that this is going to be a top 25 that even I will very much disagree with when it comes to it. Because there's already some things that I'm looking at right now and just being like, I mean, it definitely doesn't line up with my scores. But that is also why I'm not logged into my MAL right now. I don't want to see my scores. I don't want to I just don't want to put stuff in a list based on what score I gave it. Because that would not be very fun. That would be very fast and wouldn't really mean much. And I might as well have just made a video being like, hey, this is my top 25 anime of all time. But alright. And then we have when supernatural battles become commonplace. That is another show. Another seasonal show that I watched. When supernatural... Oh yeah, and in case, you know, it's obviously very obvious right now, but this is also not a top 25 retro anime of all time. It's not... I just want to do anime in general, not so much just like older anime. Although, maybe that's something we could look into doing in the future. Maybe not a top 25, but like going through some stuff and seeing like the best retro anime for certain years and stuff like that. Maybe certain decades. Who knows? I'll think about it. Inobateru wa Nichijoke no naka de. Studio Trigger, based on a light novel. 12 episodes. Fall 2014. Comedy supernatural harem. Oh yeah. We all love a good harem, don't we? Hey, what's going on? This is my worst of Trigger in a vid I did. Damn. You really think this is the worst Trigger did? I don't know about that. We have some stuff here. There's some stuff in here, right? There's some stuff in here. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. There's still stuff I haven't seen, like Promare and whatnot. Cyberpunk Edge Runners I still haven't gotten around to. They still haven't gotten around to any of that. But yeah, nah. So the synopsis on Mal is, during a literature club meeting, the four club members, along with their faculty advisor's niece, suddenly find themselves with supernatural powers. Now capable of fabricating black flames, resident Shunibyo Jurai Ando is the most ecstatic about their new abilities. Unfortunately, his own is only for show and unable to accomplish anything of substance. Moreover, he is completely outclassed by those around him. Fellow club member Tomoya Kanasaki manipulates time. Jurai's childhood friend Hatoko Kushikawa wields control over the five elements. Club president Sayumi Takanashi can repair both inanimate objects and living things. And their advisor's niece, Shifuyu Himeki, is able to create objects out of thin air. However, while the mystery of why they received these powers looms overhead, very little has changed for the Literature Club. The everyday lives of these 5 superpowered students continue on, albeit now tinged with the supernatural. This is a club show with supernatural powers and some funny moments. It's mostly comedy, like I said. Kind of gives it away when the guy who was definitely the one who's the most excited about getting supernatural powers is also the guy who gets the most useless power, because, you know, life isn't fair. Life is never fair like that. Spice and Wolf has a following. Never saw it myself, but there are people who think very, very highly of it. I also think very highly of it. I think Spice and Wolf is really good. It's just, you know, there's a lot of good shows. Surprisingly, actually, there's a lot of good shows. I should clarify, it was only shows that aired in TV in Japan. It's not bad, it's just a big dose of meh. I can definitely see that. A lot of people who seem to agree, because it's only got a 7.07 score on Mal, and if I know anything about Mal scores, that means this show is dog shit. You know, that's just how it is. But yeah, nah. It was definitely a show that aired, and a show that I enjoyed. Probably way more than I should have. But this was back in the time when I actually enjoyed anime, weirdly enough. I say that as if I don't, but back in the time where I used to enjoy a lot more anime, I guess. Right now it's a little... Right now I'm still sort of burned out a little bit on anime, so it's like... There's a lot of shows that I just don't like because I feel like I've seen them a million times. And this show definitely would be classified as that. A show I've seen a million times. But at the time, when I watched this, I definitely hadn't seen this show a million times before, so... It gave me something. It gave me a couple scenes that I really enjoyed. Some nice acting moments and whatnot, and yeah, it was pretty good. Top 25 worthy? Not a chance. Not even close. But then, we have Daily Lives of High School Boys. Danshi Kokosei no Nichijo. This is a very good comedy anime. By Sunrise, based on a web manga, gag humor, school. Absolutely. This is like, I mean, this is Nichijo, but guys, essentially, it is really funny. Got some really funny moments. Again, it's one of those things where it's just like, it's definitely hard to explain, just because again, it would involve me going through like the jokes and whatnot, and explaining jokes is just never funny. But yeah, the synopsis from Al is: roaming the halls of the old boys Sanada North High School are 3 close comrades. The eccentric ringleader with a hyperactive imagination, Hidenori, the passionate Yoshita... let's try it again. The eccentric ringleader with a hyperactive imagination, Hidenori, the passionate Yoshitake, and the rational and prudent Tadakuni. Their lives are filled with giant robots, true love, and intense drama. In their colorful imaginations, at least. In reality, they are just an everyday trio of ordinary guys trying to pass the time. But who said everyday life couldn't be interesting? Whether it's an intricate RPG reenactment, or an unexpected romantic encounter on the riverbank at sunset, Danshi Kokosei no Nichijo is rife with bizarre, yet hilariously relatable situations that are anything but mundane. I don't know if I'd necessarily call them relatable, but, I mean, I guess, kind of. They can be. I missed this one, but I heard lots of praise for it. Yeah, this was one that I sort of skipped out of for a long time as well. A lot of my friends praised this show a lot, and I was like, yeah, I'll get around to it one day. And then I never did. Until I suddenly was like, I was just started going through like shows on my list, and I was like, sure, this is a show that I can definitely watch. It's quick. It'll be over soon. You know, kind of going into that, and I ended up laughing a lot. It's very funny. It's very funny. So yeah, if you like shows like Nichijou, definitely give Daily Lives of High School Boys a chance. It's also pretty good. It is also pretty good. But is the top 25 good? Because this is the problem when it comes to comedy shows. Great Teacher Onizuka is easy to put on the list, because Great Teacher Onizuka is more than just straight up comedy. It's actually got some heart to it as well. That is a little bit difficult to say for Daily Lives of High School Boys. It's a good show, well made, and it's funny. It's not easy to do by any means. But is it top 25? That's how I watched a lot of one part OVAs. Yes, short, why not? Yeah, nah, same. I basically have this playlist that's just a bunch of like, not always one part OVAs, but like it's a bunch of like OVA movies and stuff like that. And just yeah. You see all of them, just I can go through them quickly, and it's like I just go to bed and sort of put on one of them and watch them and call it a day. It's easy to do. It's definitely easy to do. And it's also the problem when you try to recommend a lot of other shows, like, you know, trying to recommend someone Legend of the Galactic Heroes. It doesn't really matter how great you say it is. There's only two types of people, and that is one, the people that think that it's worth it as long as it's good, and then you have the other people that look at the episode length and go, nah, not happening. And I'm definitely in that latter part. I have definitely said no to a lot of shows just because I think they're too long. It's sad. I shouldn't do it, but, you know, there's just this idea of like saying like, oh man, I'm going to be sitting for like 3 months watching this show? Dude. That's a lot of time. You know what? I think I'm gonna do this. As much as I love, and I mean this, as much as I love Snafu, I really do, I think Daily Lives of High School Boys is better. It's just funnier. So I guess that means we're just putting, yeah, Snafu out of the top 25, and Daily Lives of High School Boys is definitely gonna get out of it as well, but just for peace of mind, for me, because I feel like I would put it on the top 25, but I don't feel like it belongs in the top 25, at least not a final list. So just to actually have said that it at least made it onto the list once, I'm putting it there now. Alright. And next up we have Usagi Drop. Man. I feel like this always has to come with the warning whenever you tell people about Usagi Drop, and that is, whatever you do, it's 11 episodes. And keep that in mind. This is 11 episodes. It ends at 11 episodes. There is nothing more after 11 episodes. Don't bother going to look at the original manga. Don't look at the manga. Don't watch it. Don't read it. Don't read it. There's nothing more. It ends here. It's 11 episodes. And that's it. By Production IG, Slice of Life. And the synopsis from Mal says, Daikichi Kawachi, I don't know why that was so hard, is a 30-year-old bachelor working in a respectable job, but otherwise wandering aimlessly through life. When his grandfather suddenly passes away, he returns to the family home to pay his respects. Upon arriving at the house, he meets a mysterious young girl named Rin, who, to Daikichi's astonishment, is his grandfather's illegitimate daughter. The shy and unapproachable girl is deemed an embarrassment to the family, and finds herself ostracized by her father's relatives, all of them refusing to take care of her in the wake of his death. Daikichi, angered by their coldness towards Rin, announces that he will take her in, despite the fact that he is a young, single man with no prior childcare experience. Usagi Drop is the story of Daikichi's journey through fatherhood as he raises Rin with his gentle and affectionate nature, as well as an exploration of the warmth and independence that are at the heart of a happy, close-knit family. This is a very heartwarming story, because, again, like you care, it's basically about taking in someone else and raising them as your own daughter, and it is very good at that. It definitely hits a lot of points that I enjoyed a lot watching this. Sadly, I know that the manga exists, and I know what happened. Even though I've never read it myself, I know what happens later, and I can't say I appreciate that, because I really liked what was here, and I can't help but feel like that stains a little bit of my view of the show. But what is in the anime is very good. It is very good as long as the anime continues. So that's why I keep saying that it's only 11 episodes. I'm gonna judge it only on the 11 episodes, and it is pretty good. It is not top 25. It is just not top 25. Sorry. And here, this is a show up next called Ashita no Joe. A show that I have definitely been wanting to make videos on since I started making my YouTube channel. I have a lot of stuff to say, and I have some things about the show that I'm very impressed by, that I'd really love to get through. So maybe one day I will actually get off my lazy butt and do that. But for now, it's been on the back burner. So yeah, Ashita no Joe, or Rocky Joe, or Champion Joe, or Tomorrow's Joe, whichever you will prefer, is 2 seasons. 1 season of 79 episodes, which isn't necessary to watch all of them, because part of this, the ending to sort of this, was it like the last 24 episodes, something like that? I don't remember exactly, is remade in Ashita no Joe 2, which came out in the 80s. The reason for that is because it caught up to the manga and whatnot. This is one of the first sports anime that's ever been made. If you consider boxing a sport, that's another debate. A classic and an awesome show. Yes, it is. It is my favorite boxing anime of all time. Kind of. If we consider this a sports anime, this is my second favorite sports anime of all time. It comes in just after Hajime no Ippo, which was heavily inspired by Ashita no Joe. And literally the only reason why I prefer Hajime no Ippo is because it's animated better. Like, it looks better. It was not made in the 70s. That is basically the sort of thing that tips in Hajime no Ippo's favor. Tips the scale in Hajime no Ippo's favor. Ashita no Joe's sort of characterization is very interesting, because it essentially just throws the most unlikable protagonist straight in your face. I mean, Joe Yabuki is a troubled youth whose only solution to problems is throwing punches at them. What he lacks in manners and discipline, he makes up for with his self-taught fighting skills. One day, while wandering the slums of Doya, Joe gets into a fight with a local gang. Although greatly outnumbered, he effortlessly defeats them, drawing the attention of Danpei Tange, a former boxing coach turned alcoholic. Seeing his potential, he offers to train Joe into Japan's greatest boxer. At first, Joe dismisses Danpei as a hopeless drunk. But after the trainer saves his life, he agrees to live with him and learn the art of boxing. Unfortunately, Joe's personality makes him an unruly student, to say the least, and he often falls back to his own ways. To survive the harsh world of his new career, Joe needs to trust his mentor and master the techniques taught to him. However, the road to becoming a professional boxer is rife with struggles that will test his mettle to the end. And yeah, Joe is the sort of troubled teenager that it's definitely hard to make a likable character, so the fact that they managed to do that in the end is quite amazing. He not only does not like anyone, he not only fights everyone, he not only tries to screw over people and has no sense of morals, that includes screwing over kids. He has no problem with that either. And he does not care about anything. The only thing that sets this guy straight somewhat is finding, what's his name again? Yakashi Toru, who's a who's a boxer himself, a professional boxer, who ends up in jail, as well as Joe. And they sort of don't hit it off at all. But it's the first time Joe actually just gets straight up defeated in a one-on-one fight. And even that thing takes a long time, because it's a long time of just Joe continuously trying to fight him, trying to beat him. Tries to cheat his way through beating him, including going into the boxing ring with him in jail. Make a fucking makeshift boxing ring. And he ends up putting rocks into his gloves just to actually have a fighting shot at him. Like, yeah. They really made sure that you should not like Joe. And he is very unreasonable as well. He has things he doesn't like, and he refuses to like them no matter what. This includes other people and whatnot. Like, he just, no matter how unreasonable he's being, he will never change. He is hard-headed as anything. But his sort of rise to champion, his rise to boxing fame, and the things he goes through, the things he sees, and sort of the effect he has on people, other people, and the effect they have on him, it's incredible. It's one of the first sports anime ever made. I think Star of the Giant was earlier. Star of the Giant was the first one. It should be 1969. And it's just, yeah, it's an amazing one. Like, what Joe does for like the what Ashtano Joe does for the sports anime genre, and for like how to tell a story in like sports anime fashion, like it's had such an amazing impact. You still see sports anime to this day utilize the same techniques that Joe did all the way back then. There's so much build up in between fights. There's so many character moments. There's just such a focus on not just the fight, but like the sort of human aspect outside of the fighting as well. It's a great show. And I could talk about this show forever, but I'm not going to sit here and talk about it forever, because we're not here to talk about Ashtano Joe right now. I'm saving that for a video. Yeah. Drama Sports. Amazing show. And 100% goes into the top 25. The question is where? The question is where, and that means the Daily Life of High School Boys is instantly going out of the list again. And I'm thinking this, to be honest. I'm thinking here. Ashtano Joe. I often go around with myself for what I enjoy more. Do I enjoy Akage no Ann more, or do I enjoy Ashtano Joe more? And I never agree with myself. Some days I prefer Akage no Ann, and some days I prefer Ashtano Joe. They're completely different shows, so take your pick. But it is... I think this is one of the ones that is dead set to be a top 25 anime. Like, it is... It's great. It is one of the best anime ever made, in my opinion. And that is incredible, considering the fact that it started in the 70s. Like, I mean, it just goes to show, right? Because Ashtano Joe, when a show can manage to make you pumped up for a fight, despite the fact that the fight is barely animated, and yet you still feel the intense pressure, the drama, everything, I still felt myself just sort of getting up from my chair, holding my breath at times, just really getting into it. It's incredible, because it doesn't look great. But that is the biggest downfall of Ashtano Joe. It's from the 70s. And that gets us right up to another sports anime, Kuroko no Basket. I've said before, I really enjoy Kuroko no Basket. I think it's a great show. And I know, for some reason, I know I've talked about this before. Was I just in general? No, not on there, right? No, it isn't. Okay, yeah, I guess I just talked about it in general. So Kuroko no Basket is a, what is it, 2 seasons and a movie? I think? No, 3 seasons and a movie. Multiple movies, but yeah, movie 4, last game. There's other movies and whatnot, recap movies and stuff, but you know. It's a basketball anime. I don't know what else to say about it, really. Production IG. For the last 3 years, Teiko Middle School has dominated the national basketball scene with its legendary lineup, the Generation of Miracles. It consisted of 5 prodigies who excelled at the sport, but a phantom sixth man lurked in the shadows and helped the team earn their revered status. Eventually, their monstrous growth jaded them from the sport they loved, and made them go their separate ways in high school. In search of new members, the Seiden High School's basketball team recruits Taiga Kagami and Tetsuya Kuroko, 2 freshmen who seem to have significant difference in abilities. Having returned recently from America, Kagami has both a natural aptitude and relentless love for the sport. Meanwhile, Kuroko lacks presence and exhibits no outstanding athletic talent. However, it is later revealed that he is Teiko's phantom sixth man, the player once part of the Generation of Miracles. Kuroko wants to prove to the Seiden team that he is strong in his own way. Seeing his conviction, Kagami forms a dynamic partnership with Kuroko, the latter promising to support Kagami's light as his shadow. Alongside their new Seiden teammates, they aim to conquer the upcoming Inter-High Championship, but the reappearance of Kuroko's former teammates complicates their plan. Straight up sports anime, just nothing more to say there. It's basketball but with superpowers, effectively. Everything is sort of blown up to 100 with this one, and that's what makes it really entertaining for me. It is what I love about this show. It's sort of... it is more natural to compare it to Slam Dunk, but I'd say Slam Dunk is the more like... quotation marks there, but it's the more realistic version. At least things aren't like unnecessarily exaggerated. People's physical appearances and whatnot and their physical abilities is also it's exaggerated in Slam Dunk as well, but not like it is in Kuroko no Basket. You know, we don't have in the zone, we don't have special abilities, we don't have Eagle Eye, we don't have Emperor Eye, we don't whatever else. We don't have Thor's hammer, you know, we don't have typical like shonen battle anime style moves here. But it is what makes Kuroko no Basket very interesting to me. And it is definitely just straight up very entertaining. But is it top 25? It always comes back to that. Is it top 25? Being top 25 is not easy. It is not very easy. Wait a minute. Yeah. It is already on there. I did talk about this. Did I make another mistake? I guess I did. Could have gone to baskets at 20. God damn. Dude. I lied. This was not a top 100 at all. I guess that fucking solved that. It's already in 20th. I talked about it before and I added it again apparently. No clue why I did that. Man. Alright. Alright. It's time to speed up. We're gonna speed run some, because it's been an hour and I've done 10. This is going slower than last time. So, first up is Gekkan Shoujo no Saki-kun. Gekkan Shoujo no Saki-kun. I'm not even gonna bother reading the synopsis for this one. Basically, Gekkan Shoujo no Saki-kun is like it's a 4-koma manga. It's a comedy romance based on like otaku culture. It's about a girl who falls in love with a guy who is a shoujo mangaka essentially, and it's about sort of her she becomes his assistant, trying to gain his attention. It's very funny. I enjoyed it. Doga Kobo made this, and it is just, yeah, it's a really fun show. It is not top 25. I will say that. It is not a top 25 show. It is not that fun. It does not belong there. So we can quickly cross that one out. The only basketball anime I saw an anime was what there was in Utena, which is barely any. Yeah. That's not a lot. Next up is Mirai Nikki. Mirai Nikki, or Future Diary. Not the OVA. I was about to say, like, hold on. It's not an OVA. TV series. The TV series by Astrid. This is one of those things that to me is mostly here because it's funny. So, back in the day, when I watched Mirai Nikki for the first time, I absolutely loved it. I enjoyed the shit out of this show. It's basically a sort of battle royale anime, and about this guy who meets this crazy girl, and then they have to survive this battle royale game in order to become God, you know. And of course, you should definitely trust the yandere chick that's following you around. I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? So yeah, it's a very dumb show. It is a very dumb show, but it was my kind of dumb show. I loved this show when I watched it. I loved it a lot. And then I was later told that from a lot of people that also liked it, that the worst thing you do to this show is to watch it again. Because goddamn it, there's a lot of stuff that becomes a lot more apparent when you watch it again, that this was not at all thought through properly. And that made me sad. So therefore, I have never rewatched it, and I never will. And it will for always sit on my list as a 10, being the most overrated show I have on my list, and I refuse to change it. Because it's funny. It's not a top 25 anime. Not at all. It's a top 1 though. It is not a top 25 anime. It is not that good. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Next up, we have Asoken. I only call it Asoken, but Asoken ni wa te wo dasuna. My Japanese. Nihongo jousu desu ne. Keep your hands off Asoken. This is a Science Sato anime based on a manga that is just sort of a love letter to animation. It's basically about these girls who make an animation club in school, and they want to sort of create their own anime. And there's a lot of references to other popular anime, including Future Boy Conan, which is sort of like our main character's sort of introduction to anime, where she fell in love with the medium and whatnot. And there's just so many things there, like Ghibli movies. There's so many love letters to anime, and I absolutely love it. I think it's a great show. It is not a top 25 though, I don't think. Problem that this show suffers from, realistically, is that it's more of a love letter to anime than like a great anime, in my opinion. It's still really good, but it would be a little... To me, it feels a little strange to be like, yep, one of the best anime ever made is a show that basically just sits around being like, I love anime, dude. Like, it's a little, for the brilliant mind of Masaki Yuasa, Asoken ni wa te wo dasuna is a love letter to animation. Wildly creative in its approach, and a testament to the potential of the medium. I would definitely agree with that. But I don't necessarily think that makes it a top 25. Very good show. Absolutely would recommend. Especially if you like anime. You know? If you don't like anime, I would not recommend it. Alright. Next up, we have Glass no Comet. Glass no Comet. There's a lot of Glass no Comet, but I'm specifically talking about the 1984 one, because that's the one I watched. I think it's the 2005 one that is, like, really highly rated. Yeah. 8.06. But I'm talking about the 1984 one. It's a drama romance, but it's about, and a shoujo, but it's about sort of performing arts. Yeah, it's about theater. So shoujo about theater. Kitajima Maya, a 13-year-old girl with a talent for acting, was discovered by the reclusive actress Tsukikage. The story follows Maya's growing up, intense training, overcoming challenges, and evolving into the foremost actress of her generation. She is about 20 so far. Thanks. Maya's greatest rival is Himekawa Ayumi, the beautiful daughter of a famous movie couple. They ultimately vied for the most sought-after role, the Crimson Goddess. An equally important subplot, Maya's relationship with a handsome and ruthless entertainment mogul, Hayami Masumi, who secretly became her #1 fan. But misunderstandings and bad timing obstructed their romance. Not a very great synopsis, but yeah. So basically this is... If I said that Asoken is a love letter to animation, then Glass no Comet is a love letter to theater. And you can tell. there was a lot of effort that went into this show when it came to sort of performance. Not just your typical sort of voice acting performance, but performance, sort of performing as if it was indeed a play, as if you are acting. You're not just, they weren't just using their voice, there was a lot of effort put into the actual acting portion of it as well. Which is funny considering the fact that they're not on screen. You know, they have a character representing them, but there was equal amount of effort put into the animation of that. And that is why I love this show. Like, it is just one of the great, like, when it comes to, I almost want to call it a sports anime in a way, but like, not exactly, but like the way they sort of portray, like, in sort of stereotypical older shoujo fashion with oni coaches and absolutely just physical abuse in order to try to become better. There's a lot of stuff in this that just sort of really showcases through, or shines through, the love for theater, the love for acting, and that passion, and having sort of a goal to work towards and going far for that. The romance part of it, the relationship one, is kind of a bit hit or miss. It's like, again, it's kind of typical shoujo romance. Not necessarily the greatest, but all in all, this is a show that I really, really love. I did not expect to love this as much. I'm not always the biggest shoujo fan, but sometimes it comes through. But it's a top 25. I see the value of the show more in capturing the fun of the creative spirit process more than as a love letter to anime. Haven't seen. Yeah, I mean, sure, I can agree with that. Haven't seen Glass no Carbon, but it sounds like a more realistic series about theater and acting that could be contrasted compared well with Review Starlight in the video. Yes. Although I'd say Review Starlight is more dramatized, I guess, which is the point. This is more down to earth. It's sort of more like the, and not exactly, I guess, because Kitakama Maya has that thing where she is like magically drawing the audience in. It's not magic, we just call it good acting. But actually, she's just a big personality, I guess would be better, because it means that she is not really fit for side character roles. Her acting sort of tends to take away attention from the main characters rather than, you know, support them. So, yeah. Ooh, this is a tough one. Because I really love it, but I don't think it's going to make it into the top 25. And I think it's sort of, not even for the same reason. I don't think it's that much of a... I think this has more to offer except for just being like, yes, look how great acting is. I think there's a genuinely good story here. But it is unfinished, which is a big negative for it. If I'm not even mistaken, I don't think the manga is over. I don't think the manga ever ended. Although it is definitely over, because, you know, it hasn't been updated in a long time, and the author is very old. So, yeah. Probably one of those mangas that will sadly never end. But it is a good show, and one I highly recommend. Whether you watch this or the 2005 one, doesn't really matter. There should be more in the 2005 one, so... But, very good show, in general. Alright. And next up is Slam Dunk. Slam Dunk. Slam Dunk is, like I said before, it's another basketball anime, and a long one at that. 101 episodes. It's from 1993 to 1996. And the synopsis of Mal says, Hanamichi Sakuragi, infamous for his temper, massive height, and fire red hair, enrolls in Shohoku High, hoping to finally get a girlfriend and break his record of being rejected 50 consecutive times in middle school. His notoriety precedes him, however, leading to him being avoided by most students. Soon after certain events, Hanamichi is left with two unwavering thoughts. I hate basketball, and I desperately need a girlfriend. One day, a girl named Haruko Akagi approaches him without any knowledge of his troublemaking ways and asks him if he likes basketball. Hanamichi immediately falls head over heels in love with her, blurting out a fervent affirmative. She then leads him to the gymnasium, where she asks him if he can do a slam dunk. In an attempt to impress Haruko, he makes the leap but overshoots, instead slamming his head straight into the blackboard. When Haruko informs the basketball team's captain of Hanamichi's near-inhuman physical capabilities, he slowly finds himself drawn into the camaraderie and competition of the sport he had previously held resentment for. Yeah. Shonen sports anime. Basketball. This, like I said, is the more realistic version of Kuroko no Basket. And it is a very good one. It's sort of, you can kind of see it as sort of like mixing the sort of delinquent style shows from the 80s. From like in the 80s, so this is from the 90s, but from like, yeah, sort of the delinquent style shows from the 80s and sort of mixing it with a sports anime. So you have a little bit of both. You have this sort of comedy that happens, with with a group of delinquents going around, sort of not being liked by anyone. People are either scared of them or just straight out resents them. They get into fights, they cause unnecessary trouble, all of that. And then, you pair that up with a competitive sport and sort of getting an outlet for that. And it is very good. That's really all I can say about this. It's very good. Is it better? Is it better than Kuroko no Basket? In my opinion, no. I don't think it is. I think it's very good, but I don't think it's better than Kuroko no Basket. Which is a shame. Which is a shame. I mean, I guess. It's not... I think the thing that Kuroko has over Slam Dunk, in my opinion, is that Kuroko is just straight up more fun, like just straight up fun. Whereas Slam Dunk has its more low points, in my opinion, where it's not that entertaining, and it sort of lacks the same height of entertainment, at least for me, that Kuroko manages to do. But it still serves up some absolutely impressive games, and just in general sort of hits you with a lot of great moments. Sakuragi is an interesting character. He's definitely cool. However, I think the sort of tendency to repeat the same joke with him is a little overbearing for me. Might be why I like it less than Kuroko. One of the reasons I like it less than Kuroko, but yeah. I had a friend who really liked Kuroko's basketball, but she couldn't get into Slam Dunk. I do know the series had a huge cultural impact in Japan, though. Yeah. It definitely did. Yeah, no, like, it is a really good show. And I'm still trying to sort of piece it in if it belongs in the top 25. Slam Dunk is going to be one of the hardest ones for me to not put in the top 25, because it has a very genuine claim for actually being a top 25 anime. Like you said, it had a pretty huge cultural impact in Japan. But it is tough. Kuroko's basketball is already in 20th, and I would not put it above it, considering what I just said. I just straight up like Kuroko no Basket more. Nothing else to it other than that. So it would be then at the bottom, but then the question is, how far? Is it above Shinsei Kaiori? I don't think so. Is it about Golden Time? I don't think so. Is it about Rainbow? It could be, because Rainbow also has sort of the same thing. Rainbow is really good at times, but also not as good. And then is it above Back? And you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to put it above Rainbow. I think I'm going to remove Noragami from the list. And then we'll do this, like so. Slam. Slam Dunk. This is going to be rough, actually, because I really like Slam Dunk to end up in the top 25, because it is that good of a show, in my opinion. It does deserve being there. But this is going to be hard. This is going to be really hard. There's some really good shows coming up. Alright, so that's Slam Dunk. And then we have the Ancient Magus Bride. The Ancient Magus Bride. The Ancient Magus Bride. Maotsukai no Yome. 24 episodes, TV series, and a sequel as well. That has not yet aired. I should have realized, because I was like, I do not remember watching a season 2. It's coming in April 2023. Cool. I will be watching that. Chise Hattori, a 15-year-old Japanese girl, was sold for £5 million at an auction to a tall masked gentleman. Abandoned at a young age and ridiculed by her peers for her unconventional behavior, she was ready to give herself to any buyer, if it meant having a place to go home to. In chains, and on her way to an unknown fate, she hears whispers from robed men along her path, gossiping and complaining that such a buyer got his hands on a rare Slybeggy. Ignoring the murmurs, the mysterious man leads the girl to a study, where he reveals himself to be Elias Ainsworth, a magus. After a brief confrontation and a bit of teleportation magic, the two open their eyes to Elias' picturesque cottage in a rural England. Greeted by fairies and surrounded by weird and wonderful beings upon her arrival, these events mark the beginning of Chisa's story as the apprentice and supposed bride of the ancient magus. Yet another one you have on DVD but you haven't seen. Do you just like collecting DVDs you don't watch? Not same. I have a couple anime behind me here that I still need to watch and haven't done. So yeah, basically, so this is slavery anime. It's one of those weird anime in that sense. It's kind of like being set free from sort of like your not having a good life and being set free and being allowed to explore yourself. Essentially, from 2017, fall 2017, and it is very good. It's a very good show. I enjoyed this one a lot. It's definitely one of those, like, it sort of fits into that, like, there's a romance, kind of, not exactly, but it's like, it's a little bit there, and it's a little awkward, but it makes sense. It's not, when Chise is bought, it's like, you know, it's not like there's any sort of force for her to do anything. She sort of stays there and learns from the magus, learns from Elias, and whatnot, and just sort of gets to become herself, essentially, which is what this is all about. It's by Wit Studio. It's really good. It's a really good show. It is not top 25. I could not put this in the top 25, I don't think. Chihaya Furu. Chihaya... Dude, it's one word. Relax. Chihaya Furu. 3 seasons. This is a show that people really like, because this is Karuta. Don't know what that has to do with anything. I definitely didn't know what Karuta was before I watched Chihaya Furu, but yeah, it's based on the Ogura 100 Poets anthology. This card game where poems are studied requires excellent memory, agility, and a tremendous endurance from the players. So yeah, basically it's like listening to somebody read up a poem. You have like a bunch of cards with poems written on them laid out in front of you, and then, you know, you have your side of the board and the opponent's side of the board, and there's like a set, I don't remember exactly the rules right now, there's a set number of cards or of poems, and there's spares, so you can you have to like sort of hear what's being read, and then you have to realize which card it is first, and then you have to find it, and you have to sort of knock it away before the opponent does, and you're basically trying to empty your side of the board. When you get one, you can move one of your poems over to the opponent's side, and that's sort of how it goes. You're trying to empty your board. Yeah, that's the idea. So sports anime and sort of just josei, love polygon, drama, all that good stuff, you know. It's a very good show. It's very entertaining. I was not expecting to be interested in Karuta, and I'm definitely not, because I'm not going to play it myself. Does not sound like my strong suit, but you know, it was definitely an interesting one. It came out of nowhere for me, kind of. Not exactly nowhere. I had been recommended it, but it wasn't the sort of thing that I expected to like fall in love with, essentially. But I did. But not as much as a lot of people did, definitely. So I do not think this belongs in the top 25. It's a good show. Absolutely a good show. But, yeah. Yeah, I have 4 huge boxes of anime that isn't currently on shelves, and 98% of them are still sealed. Yep. Feel that. Furu does not belong. Next up, we have ReZero. And I need to stop doing it. Not got a zero. That's another one. ReZero? I guess I can just go to the movie then, huh? There it is. That's the first one. Alright, ReZero. Funimation? Funimation. White Fox. That's the one. Isekai. This show sort of came out at a time. I mean, obviously, we all know the Isekai genre. We all know sort of the boom of that, and people have their thoughts on it, whether you like it or not. I'm sort of mixed on it. I like some Isekai. I definitely do. I even love some Isekai. But a lot of them I don't find very interesting. Mostly because I just don't feel like they don't really offer much. It's sort of like, yes, the appeal is just being transported to another world. That's not really ReZero though. This is sort of more... It's transported to another world with sort of elements of... I'm not exactly going to say psychological horror. Psychological suspense. Yeah, I'd say that's probably better. Like, it has moments, right? And you have this sort of... you have the main character, Subaru, who is sort of cursed to repeat his life. So, bit of Groundhog Day as well. Like, when he dies, he sort of gets reset. And he uses that to essentially try to figure out why stuff happens. And he has to prevent people he cares about to die and whatnot. And just sort of effectively also just has to, get out of this time loop that he's in. And that is what it is. There's a lot more to it. There's a lot more elements to it here and there. But in general, it's pretty interesting. And a show that I enjoyed a lot. But I don't think it's top 25. Again. Like, it's... Actually, maybe... It's very good at its best. It's very good at its best. It's very good at its best, but is it top 25? Oh, that is hard. I watched some really trashy Isekai, and this was at the beginning of the genre's blow-up. Yeah, kind of. I mean, you still had, like, you're gonna be technical, like, what, Sword Art Online came out in 2012, so it's like, it's been a few years, like 2 years. But, yeah, it's like, it's still sort of early on, and it was sort of, came out in this time period where people were trying to do, like, Isekai, but with a twist, right? It's like, it's not just Isekai. It's like, Isekai, but this. Isekai, but time loop. Isekai, but death. Isekai, but dark. Isekai, but that. Isekai, but whatever. And ReZero was definitely one of the ones that did it the best, in my opinion. And you know what? I think I'm going to take it in over Beck. ReZero. There. In 25. It will not stay, but I do like it more than... I do like it more than Beck, definitely. You know what? I might as well take it above Rainbow as well, because I like it more than Rainbow as well. There we go. Like that. 24. Alright. I think that should do it. Next up is Bokura wa Minna Kawaisou. Bokura wa Minna Kawaisou. There it is. Kawaii Complex Guide to Manners and Hostile Behavior is not at all the title. It's We're All Pitiful. That's the actual title. And romantic subtext, school, seinen. This is sort of a slice of life. Yeah, slice of life comedy type situation. Kazunari Usa is a high school freshman who will start living alone due to his parents now working in a different area. Excited for his new independent life, he hopes to go about his teenage days without the worry of dealing with any strange people. But as he soon discovers, his new boarding house, Kawaii Complex, is far from ordinary. Not kawaii, but kawaii. Kawaii Complex is far from ordinary. The various tenants at Kawaii Complex are all quite eccentric characters. Shirosaki Kasunari's roommate is a pervert and masochist. Mayumi Nishikono, a borderline alcoholic office lady, hates couples because of her unfortunate luck with men. And Sayaka Watanabe, a seemingly innocent college student, enjoys leading men on. Shocked with the lack of decent individuals at his new residence, Kasunari is about to leave when he runs into shy senior student Ritsu Kawai, who finds himself slowly falling in love with her. Ooh, this brings back memory. Still a good one. So probably not top 25. Yeah, I would agree with that. This is, again, it's a funny show, and a show that I really enjoyed when it came out. But it's also a show that I haven't really thought much of after. And that basically goes to show where this belongs to. Good show for its time, not really that memorable. The most memorable thing I have about this show, realistically, and I got it out here as well, is this English title. I hate the English title. I don't understand why they decided to go with this. I mean, I know why, but no. The title is we're all pitiful. Like, come on. That's basically what I remember the most about this show. So yeah, this is not a top 25. And then we have Angel Beats. Angel Beats. More PA works. Back at a time where I used to really like PA works, like I said earlier. 13 episodes. It's an original anime based that was created by screenwriter Jun Maeda and director. Yeah. I was about to say this was based on the game, but it is not. This was the original one. Yeah, this is the original anime. Death is one of many mysteries that has left humanity in the dark since the dawn of time. However, the burning question of what happens to the soul after one dies is soon answered to 17-year-old Yusuru Otonashi. Waking up with no previous memories in a dimension between life and death, he discovers the unsettling truth of the afterlife. Taking the form of a high school, this bizarre dimension is designated to shelter those who died unwanted deaths. Feeling wronged by God during their earthly lives, the school's residents have decided to form the Afterlife Battlefront, a rebellious faction determined to oppose their godlike student council president, Kanade Angel Tachibana. The group's leader, Yuri Nakamura, recruits Otonashi in their fight against Angel in order to take control of their own lives. However, questioning the morality behind their actions, Otonashi takes a step behind the enemy lines to understand the opposing side of their common fate. Another classic that I haven't watched. One I also don't have the physical media of, too. Damn. There's gotta be some of those as well. Yeah, nah. This is, again, this goes into one of those very rare shows that have made me tear up. It didn't make me straight up cry, but definitely made me tear up at times. Although, funny enough, not where you would think, not at the end, or towards the end. Actually, it was more towards the beginning. It was the story of, what was her name? Yeah, Masami Iwasawa. There's just something about that. Somebody just wanting to play guitar, wanting to become a musician. That whole thing, it sticks with me. Like, it stuck with me a lot. I don't know why. I don't know why. I sort of coming to terms with that, accepting that and being the first one out of there. It was nice. It's got good music. Got some nice comedy elements to it. It hits hard when it wants to. It is kind of emotionally manipulated though, but I mean, you should come to expect that from Jun Maeda. He likes doing that a lot. Top 25 is the question. Is it top 25? And I would say yeah. I would say it definitely is. That means Rainbow is out of here. And I'm trying to decide if I want to put it above or below Kuroko no Basuke. I like it more than Shinsei Kaiori. I definitely do. And I think I'm going to put it below Kuroko no Basuke. Above Kuroko no Basuke. below. Yeah. Angel Beats. There we go. Ooh. And then up next we have Touch. Man, can you tell that I like sports anime? Because this is another one. Touch is a show we watched for the podcast, actually. And it took us quite a long time to get through it. I mean, it's 101 episodes, so it's not that weird, but we divided up into parts, and or up into arcs, and then we sort of went through that. And yeah, it sort of tells the story centers around three characters: Uesugi Kasuya, his twin older brother Tatsuya, and Asukara Minami. Kasuya is the darling of his town, as he's talented, hardworking, and the ace pitcher for his middle school baseball team. Tatsuya is a hopeless slacker who's been living the life of giving up the spotlight to Kasuya, despite the fact that he may be more gifted than him. Minami is the beautiful childhood girlfriend and, for all intents, sister from next door, who treats both of them as equals. Society largely assumes Kasuya and Minami will become the perfect couple, including Tatsuya. Yet as time progresses, Tatsuya grows to realize that he's willing to sacrifice anything for the sake of his brother, except at the expense of giving up Minami to Kasuya. And thus the story is told of Tatsuya trying to prove himself over his established younger brother. How it affects the relationship between the three, and both brothers attempt to make Minami's lifelong dreams come true. So, this is essentially a love story as a sports anime. What this author likes doing is sort of, he uses the setting of Koshien, because it's like a big, baseball thing, big high school, big thing in high school for competing, and that's the goal. Minami's goal, she wants to go to Koshien, and well, the two twins, Tatsuya and Kasuya, both want to take her there. But Tatsuya, he is the ace pitcher of the baseball team, and Kasuya, he is just slacking off. He's not even on the team. My thoughts on it. I like this a lot. I like the show a lot. Like, it hits you with a lot of it hits you with some serious sort of plot twists that I wasn't expecting, and it really manages to sort of make it. It has sort of really good sections of like things, right? Because you want to have like comparisons, right? You have the outer comparison, you have the people around you that compare people, right? And that particularly comes through for Tatsuya and Kasuya. Kasuya is the more talented of the two, but he is the one seen as less talented because he doesn't do anything. He is lazy, he doesn't work hard. Tatsuya is seen as the superior version. He is hardworking, he is talented, he does everything. People really love him. And Minami is, well, she's the good girl. So, obviously that means that Tatsuya and Minami are sort of good for each other. They are perfect. They are one and the same, essentially. And Kasuya sort of not in there. But that is one thing, right? And even their parents are part of that. Kasuya, on the other hand, doesn't really want to he doesn't want to get in the way of his older brother. He doesn't have that competitive spirit, I guess. His younger brother, I mean. He doesn't have that competitive spirit, in a way, you could say. He doesn't really want to be a part of that. He doesn't want to be let down, and he doesn't want to get in the way of others. He doesn't want to step on people's toes, so he sort of sits back and just plays the bad guy role, essentially. But eventually, he sort of has to take up and make a decision. He has to make a name for himself. He has to sort of prove that he is not just useless. And he also really wants to impress Minami, obviously. So there's a lot of elements to this, and generally it's really good. It's really well made, in my opinion. It's one of the best sports dramas I've seen in a while. So I'm a big fan. Touch. But sadly, I don't think it makes the top 25. I think I like ReZero a little bit more. I would have considered putting in at 25th, but I think I like ReZero a little bit more. So it does not belong. But it is definitely a really good show and one that I would highly recommend people to watch. And this is an easy one. I will not spend too much time on this one. This is Alt Noah 0. Why is Alt Noah 0 here? You might ask yourself. Because I really liked Alt Noah 0. Up until a point. And then I didn't. So that's why I included it. But that's the thing. I really liked it up until a point. And then I didn't. So basically meaning I'm not that big of a fan of the show. It started good and had a really good premise. But then it killed itself literally by doing the same thing over and over again. And the worst thing I like, the thing that I hate the most when a show does is killing off characters, but not killing off characters. And this show is really, really guilty of that. They try to kill off the same character multiple times. Except they don't, because they never die. And it's just annoying. It is just annoying. It could have been great, but it wasn't. And as such, it does not belong. I'm not even going to get into what it is. If you watched it, you know. If you didn't, don't bother. It's not worth your time. Ooh, Ergo Proxy. This is one that a friend of mine definitely would like to talk about on the podcast for sure. Ergo Proxy is a 23-episode TV series by Manglobe. Rest in peace, Manglobe. And it is psychological, mystery and sci-fi. Within the domed city of Romdo lies one of the last human civilizations on Earth. Thousands of years ago, a global ecological catastrophe doomed the planet. Now life outside these domes is virtually impossible. To expedite mankind's recovery, autoraves, humanoid-like robots, have been created to assist people in their day-to-day lives. However, autoraves have begun contracting an enigmatic disease called the cogito virus, which grants them self-awareness. Adele Mayer, the granddaughter of Romdo's ruler, is assigned to investigate this phenomenon, alongside her autorave partner, Iggy. But what begins as a routine investigation quickly spirals into a conspiracy as Adele is confronted by humanity's darkest sins. Elsewhere in Romdo, an autorave specialist by the name of Vincent Law must also face his demons when surreal events begin occurring around him. Rel, Iggy, Vincent, and the child autorave named Pino will form an unlikely faction as they struggle to uncover Romdo's mysteries and discover the true purpose of the mythical beings called proxies. This show is a lot to take in. This show goes places, and it hits you with some very, very mind-bending situations, some very mind-bending stuff, and it just... I mean, suddenly they just hit you with a goddamn game show episode out of nowhere. Like... It's definitely a wild ride, and it is not for everyone. Ergo Proxy. Interestingly, I listened to the intro to this earlier. Oh, dude, the music in this was really good. Just in general, it's like Kitty by Monorail, really good, and Paranoid Agent by Radiohead. It's got really good music. Really good opening and ending. I only saw Ergo Proxy once, and I'm so confused, but I haven't watched it again. Yeah, I definitely need to rewatch it. It's been so long since I watched it, and I definitely do want to do that. It's a lot to take in, and there's a lot of stuff for you. Sort of like, I definitely feel that. I had that same sort of experience with it when it came to the end. I was like, I watched it all, and I was like, wait a minute, hold on, what just happened? Like, what did I just watch? Did I miss something? Like, and I sort of had to go back again and look stuff up, and I was like, oh, okay, I see. It's not the easiest show. I would put this sort of similar to shows like Serial Experiments Lane, in that sense that it's like, it's not always super obvious exactly what it's going for, but it is still very entertaining. It is still very entertaining. And for reference sake as well, Serial Experiments Lane is also a show that I Actually, originally dropped when I watched it because I didn't like it. But I watched that one later as well, and I liked it a lot more the second time I watched it. So yeah, I should definitely go back and watch this again just to see if I enjoy it more than I did when I watched it originally. Good stuff in any event. Yep. Requires a bit more thinking than most anime, but it was worth it. Oh yeah, it definitely does. Because this is not the sort of show that's just gonna put every piece together for you instantly. You need to think about it. And you know, people's opinions on these types of shows varies. Some people like them, some don't. I am definitely in the camp that do like this. However, I don't think it's a top 25. I do not think it's a top 25. There is still parts of me that thinks that, like I said, I mentioned it before, like the game show episode and whatnot, for example. Like, some of them feels a little, like, unnecessarily out there, I guess. And yeah, that's basically where Ergo Proxy is, I think. I think it just sometimes got the sort of urge to go a little weirder than it needed to. And that gives him some minus points for me. Still a very good show, but I don't think it's a top 25. Like people pointed out to me, the Pino is a reference to Pinocchio, and I was like, how did I miss it? Right? It's in my top, however many, but mostly from nostalgia's sake. I mean, it's fine. Like I said, I was joking when I said there's a friend of mine who would really like to discuss this on the podcast, because I know he would not like to discuss this one on the podcast. It's one of his favorite shows, but we've already experienced what it's like talking about your favorite shows on the podcast. It doesn't end well. Death Parade is up next. Death Parade from 2015, 12 episodes. It was originally in the sort of the animator training project of 2012 with Death Billiards, which was a very interesting concept, and it would later be developed into a full show by Madhouse. And it is, you can essentially take it as like purgatory, where your life is being judged, but rather than just straight up being judged, you are essentially forced to playing a game, and the outcome of that game determines whether you go to hell or heaven, or whether you get, I guess, reincarnated or not in this case. It's a very interesting concept. Definitely is. A little strange, and definitely not for everyone, I'd say, but if you are into like supernatural stuff and you are into like games and psychological anime, this is just a highly recommended show in general. And you know, the opening, Flyers by Radio, banger, absolute banger opening. It so doesn't fit the show in any way, shape, or form, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Death Billiards. Is it top 25? Is it top 25? I'm gonna have to go and say no on this one as well. It's so good. It is so good. But again, it's one of those shows that for me that it stood out a lot in a from a seasonal perspective, but I don't necessarily think it stands out in general. Not that much. It's definitely a show that I would highly recommend people to check out, but I don't necessarily think I'd put it at top 25 of all time. I enjoyed how they built the show, a classic for me, and it was an intro to radio that I'm glad I got. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing out of that show. Introduced to radio. Yep, that is definitely important. But yeah, now again, like I said, it's very good. And had this been like a top 50, I would have absolutely considered it. I just don't see what I would like to take out for Death Parade is my thing. Like, I guess it would once again be a change at the bottom with ReZero, but I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm biased. There's also more to ReZero than there is to Death Parade. But yeah, alright. Technolize is up next. Talking about mind-bending shows again, we have another psychological show. From Madhouse, once again, from 2003. In the dark underground city of Lux, people live in fear and despair under the rule of various criminal factions. Almost secluded from the surface, the gang's only interaction with the outer world is their mining operations of raffia, which is the raison d'etre of the city. Available only in Lux, the rare substance is the basis of Technolize, transplants that permit humans to replace parts of their body with cybernetic prosthesis. The latter have the particularly not to trigger an immune response. The latter have the particularity. Yeah, the particularity. That's. Well, I just kept reading that word wrong, and I was like, "What?" The latter has the particularity not to trigger an immune response in their hosts, and the class has the privilege to conduct research on them. This elusive organization, also in charge of the raffia production, delegates its executive authority to a group called Organo, led by Keigo Onishi, a self-righteous man with a technolized leg who is rumored to hear the voice of the city. The fragile balance of powers in Lux is disturbed when a mysterious visitor named Kazuho Yoshi begins committing a series of crimes that puts the gangs at each other's throats. In the midst of the chaos, new actors emerge. Ichise, an ex-boxer mutilated by Organo and recently technolized by Eriko Doc Kamata, and Ran, a young florist who can see the future. While Lux steadily plunges into insanity, both Ichise and Ran find themselves involved in the greatest crisis the city has ever faced. That was a lot. That is a lot to take it. I don't even know where to say. This again, it sort of once again goes into that sort of group of anime where it's like, this requires a lot more thinking because there's a lot to this show. A lot of stuff that is not touched upon here in the synopsis for obvious reasons, and just in general. You can take it, but unlike a lot of shows, I feel like Technoless can be taken a lot more straightforward. Like, you can think of it very straightforward, but it doesn't necessarily paint the full picture of what is going on. It's a decent bit like gruesome, like watching the watching Ichisa, our main character here, lose his arm, for example. Right, there's some painful scenes to watch, and in general, it's a very good show. But I don't think it's a top 25. This one either. Man, we're seeing a lot of busts right now. Another one of my early favorites, dude. Unlucky. No. I like it as well, but I don't think it's a top 25. I loved it when I watched it right after Ergo Proxy. It was a bit much, but still high in my anime ranking. Getting the DVDs of this was hell. I can believe it. Yeah, I can definitely believe that is the case. But yeah, no. Again, it goes into that same territory. It's very good. I enjoy it a lot. It's just not top 25 in my opinion. It's hard. Breaking into a top 25 is not easy, especially now when we're getting so close to the end. Next up is Bakato Test. Bakato Test, to me, is an absolute... Again, the idiot that tests and the summon creatures. Yep. It's a multi-season, sort of just straight-up comedy. Love Polygon, yes, but it's not really that important. It's mostly comedy. Fumitsuki Academy isn't a typical Japanese high school. This unique institution has implemented a new and innovative system to sort its students. At the end of their freshman year, students take a test that divides up the student body. The highest scorers are placed into A class, all the way down until F class, for the lowest of the low. Unfortunately for Akihisa Yoshi, his supposedly great intellect wasn't quite enough for such a test, and he's now stuck at the bottom of F class. Naturally, F class has the worst facilities, not only rotten tatami mats and broken tables, but also outdated equipment and worn out furniture. On the bright side, his friend Yuji Sakamoto is in the same class, and to everyone's surprise, the genius girl Mizuki Himeji has also ended up in the same class due to an unforeseen fever on the day of the test. Unsatisfied with their prerequisites, F class rallies behind Yuji to determined to take on the higher-tiered classes in order to seize their perks by using the school's examination summon battle system. The participants can summon fantasy characters whose power levels are equal to their students' test scores in an all-out battle. Will F-Class be able to rise to the top, or will they live up to everyone's expectations and fail? Yeah, comedy. I love this one more set. Right, no, that was from before. Yeah. There really isn't much to say to this, honestly. You could sort of think like, what is it? Another recent example, Classroom of the Elite, I think would be kind of similar, but this one's just way funnier. In my opinion, this one is one of my favorite comedies. I really enjoy Bakato Test. I think it is extremely funny. But is it enough to put it into the top 25? Is it that funny? Is it that funny? I'd say no. It is not that funny. Sorry, Bakato Test. I really love you, and I need to rewatch you because I haven't done so in a long time. But for now, it's gonna have to miss out. Not that good, just basic. I don't know. I really love it. I really think it's funny. Yeah. A Tale of Memories is up next. A Tale of Memories is Shaft and is based on a game series, if I'm not mistaken. Of just, yeah, visual novel. A visual novel, drama, romance. On Christmas Eve, Hiro Hirono runs into Miyako Miyamura, a frivolous girl who borrows his bicycle in order to chase down a purse thief. After Hiro finds his bicycle wrecked and Miyako unconscious, the two unexpectedly spend their Christmas Eve together. And when they discover they go to the same high school, their accidental relationship develops even further. This sparks the jealousy of Hiro's childhood friend, Kei Shindo, whose pure approach to life catches the eye of Kyosuke Tsutsumi, a womanizing photographer searching for the perfect shot. Elsewhere, Denji Aso, a boy who dreams of being a girl's knight in shining armor, has a chance encounter with Kei's twin sister, the overly shy Chihiro Shindo, who spends her time reading alone at an abandoned train station. The two quickly become friends and eventually decide to write a novel together. However, when Denji discovers Chihiro's secret, a disability that causes her to have an eternally ephemeral memory, his childish ideals will have to be put to the test. Guided by two mysterious adults, these youths' relationships intertwine in a heart-rending tale of love, rejection, acceptance, and memories. Get it? Memories? It's in the title. It's in the title. I can't remember Bakato Test. It's been too long. Feel that? I feel that. Man. Yeah, visual novel adaptation. A Tale of Memories is just a visual novel adaptation, and one that I enjoy. It's got some very interesting direction, some very interesting framing, and some quite hard-hitting scenes for sure. But all in all, I don't think it's that great. Like it's very good. Don't get me wrong. There's a reason why I put it here, but I don't think it's top 25 great. I think it lacks a little bit, and you know, the sort of different perspectives, different relationships, the different routes, if you will, and whatnot. It's like, yeah. It's a visual novel adaptation, and as such, not a top 25 candidate for me. And then we have Bakano up next. Not the specials. This one. Bakano. 13 episodes. Brain space light novel. During the early 1930s in Chicago, the transcontinental train Flying Pussyfoot is starting its legendary journey that will leave a trail of blood all over the country. At the same time, in New York, the ambitious scientist Sillard and his unwilling aide Ennis are looking for missing bottles of the immortality elixir. In addition, a war between the mafia groups is getting worse. On board the Advena Avis in 1711, alchemists are about to learn the price of immortality. Based on the award-winning light novels of the same name, Bakano follows several events that initially seem unrelated both in time and place, but are part of a much bigger story, one of alchemy, survival, and immortality. Merging these events together are the kind-hearted would-be thieves Isaac and Miria, connecting various people, all of them with their own hidden ambitions and agendas, and creating lifelong bonds and consequences for everyone involved. Man, the show was great. I really wish there was more. It's way too short. This is by the same author of Durarara. Back on another classic, yep. This is one I know for sure. It got there, but not top 25. I think it deserves to be in top 25 list, where though it's subjective. Okay. I would definitely agree, because this to me is a sort of masterpiece in storytelling, in terms of like, a lot of times when you tell a story, right, you sort of start out by figuring out who is the main character. Bakano, and subsequently Durarara as well, do this differently. There are events that happens in specific areas or in certain places. You know, there's a reason why the starting synopsis is the way it is. We have the Flying Pussyfoot, or New York, or the Advena Avis back in 1711. It doesn't necessarily seem like they would be connected, but they are connected. And that is sort of how everything comes together. It will eventually all end up at like a sort of intersecting point in the story. But that is what Bakano plays around. It plays with the characters that just essentially happen to be there and happen to have something to do in those areas at those times, and were there for parts of these histories. They're not so much about a specific character, although there are definitely characters that you could say stand out more than others. But in general, it's a great watch. I love this show. I love this show a lot, and it's going into the top 25 no matter what. That means ReZero is gone. And... ooh, all the way up to 10th, maybe? Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so. Bakano deserves a high placement for me. It's such a good show. It's such a great show. I love Bakano. All characters can carry it? Yep, definitely. I still need to read the light novels, but I believe the series is finished. Oh yeah, I also need to really read the light novels. I do just wish they would make more anime though. Like, I like Durarara as well, but Bakano is just so much better in my opinion. I forgot to say what. Top 10. Alright. So next up is Sankyo no Terror. Or, I was about to say Trouble in Terrorist Town. Yes, Trouble in Terrorist Town. What was the title of this one? The English title. Sankyo no Terror. It is Terror and Restlessness. That's the English title. I never call it that, but that's just me. It's a MAPPA show, and, you know, this was one of those shows that was when MAPPA really started to sort of appear and wanted to put itself on the mark and or on the map. It really, it sort of appealed to people with sort of very high production, at least in the beginning. It kind of fell through a little bit towards the end, but it happens. It's 11 episodes. It's an original mystery, suspense, and psychological, and again, we've talked about how much I like those. Painted in red, the word Von is all that is left behind after a terrorist attack on a nuclear facility in Japan. The government is shattered by their inability to act, and the police are left frantically searching for ways to crack down the perpetrators. The public are clueless, until 6 months later, a strange video makes its way onto the internet. In it, two teenage boys who identify themselves only as Sphinx directly challenge the police, threatening to cause destruction and mayhem across Tokyo. Unable to stop the mass panic quickly spreading through the city, and desperate for any leads in their investigation, the police struggle to act effectively against these terrorists, with Detective Kenjiro Shibasaki caught in the middle of it all. Sankyo no Terror tells the story of 9 and 12, the two boys behind the mass figures of Sphinx. They should not exist, yet they stand strong in a world of deception and secrets, while they make the city fall around them, all in the hopes of burying their own tragic truth. Shinichiro Watanabe. Shinichiro Watanabe makes some really good shows, you know? And Sankyo no Terror was definitely very ambitious. And I really loved it from the start. It kind of falls off a little bit in my opinion though, towards the end. But all in all, I still enjoyed the show. But it's not as good as it could have been. It's basically where I'm at with this one. I don't think this one belongs in the top 25. Which is so great, but it's not very fleshed out as a story and just has too many convenient moments for the characters. Yeah. I mean, it's only 11 episodes. There could have and probably should have been more to it. And yeah, there are sort of some turns here and there where it's like, okay, yeah, of course. But all in all, I think the concept of this is extremely interesting. And I would have liked to see them try it again with like a, I don't know, a 2-core show or something, just to see if they could do it better. But at the same time, I don't like using this sort of too few episodes excuse, because we've already talked about it before with Ping Pong the Animation, and I think Ping Pong the Animation is great. Despite only being 11 episodes, they managed to get so much characterization out of that. So it's definitely doable. But yeah, I would have liked to see them try this one again. Not a top 25 for me. Oh boy! Look what we got next! We have the Netflix show! Death Note. Death Note, Madhouse, supernatural suspense, psychological shonen, brutal murders, petty thefts, and senseless violence pollute the human world. In contrast, the realm of death gods is a humdrum, unchanging gambling den. The ingenious 17-year-old Japanese student Light Yagami and sadistic god of death Ryuk share one belief: their worlds are rotten. For his own amusement, Ryuk drops his death note into the human world. Light stumbles upon it, deeming the first of its rules ridiculous. The human whose name is written in this note shall die. However, the temptation is too great, and Light experiments by writing a felon's name, which disturbingly enacts his first murder. Aware of the terrifying godlike powers that has fallen into his hands, Light, under the alias Kira, follows his wicked sense of justice, with the ultimate goal of cleansing the world of all evildoers. The meticulous mastermind, Detective L, is already on his trail. But as Light's brilliance rivals L's, the grand chase for Kira turns into an intense battle of wits that can only end when one of them is dead. Bro, not again. Oh my god. Get out of here. Damn boss. I hate the fact that they do this as well. Go. I think it's worth the top 20. Sometimes has dumb moments with the blonde chick, but the dynamic between L and Light is so memorable. So interesting. I mean, this is definitely one of those shows that, like, when it came out before I started watching anime. It's one of those shows that, like, everybody told you to watch. Like, you need to watch Death Note. Death Note is great. And then, of course, it became memed after Netflix tried to do a live-action version of it, and definitely not the same. But it's definitely an enjoyable series. The problem with Death Note, at least for me, is that Death Note kinda suspenseful potato chip eating. Yeah, it is the fact that, like, there is a huge moment in this show where everything changes. And that is also where the show starts becoming a lot less fun. Because it introduces a plot twist that no one asked for. I cannot imagine anyone who was like, yep, that sounds like a good idea. And I got a little turned off from it. Like, it was not like the show became unbearably bad or anything like that, but you know, it could have been better. It could have been a lot better. So yeah, sadly, Death Note does not get to have its potato chip and eat it too. It is not a top 25 show for me. Sorry. Just the truth. It could have been. From reading the manga, the plot gets kind of old and repetitive, but the music carries it for me in the anime. Yeah. That sounds about right. Alright. Moving on. Flip Flappers. Bad. Flip Flappers is the sort of show that does not get enough love. For me. This show is absolutely great. And it's only has a 7.64 on Mal, because... Look at this. Look at that. Man. Absolutely. Studio 3 Hertz. Kokona is an average middle schooler living with her grandmother, and she who has yet to decide a goal to strive for. Soon met a strange girl named Paprika, who invites her to an organization called Flip Flap. Dragged along by the energetic stranger, Kokona finds herself in the world of pure illusion, a bizarre alternate dimension, helping Paprika look for crystal shards. Upon completing their mission, Paprika and Kokona are sent to yet another world in pure illusion. As a dangerous creature besets them, the girls use their crystals to transform into magical girls. Kokona into pure blade, and Paprika into pure barrier. But as they try to defeat the creature before them, 3 others with powers from a rival organization enter the fray and slay the creature, taking with them a fragment left behind from its body. Afterward, the girls realize that to stand a chance against their rivals and the creatures in pure illusion, they must learn to work together and synchronize their feelings in order to transform more effectively. This show is so all over the place. There's so many weird themes for the episodes. It's a magical girl, but it's not. It's a horror sometimes. It's such a trip of a show. Death Note has a lot of different adaptations, and different endings are interesting to compare. Some tried to end it earlier, and others tried to change the second half ending. There's a musical too. Yeah. From reading the manga, I thought the first half was stronger. If I recall, the original creator or writer left around the midway. Honestly, it fell off in the second half, but the ending with Buke's monologue made it fine. Another one I remember seeing in the Mystic Nexus video. This was a great watch, but not the best show overall. Reader for Flip Flappers. Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't know. I definitely felt this being pretty good all the way through. But is it a top 25? That I don't think it is. I don't think it's that great. But holy shit! When this came out, 2016. This was definitely the sleeper hit for me that season. It was just, if you wanted to brief about watching a good show that nobody else was watching, this was the one. And god damn it, I believe it as well. It's a show that I'm glad exists. I don't want more of it, but I'm glad it exists. And I wish it was more popular, because I enjoyed it. But it is not top 25. Alright. We are now going to go to Standalone Complex. And I'm going to grab myself something to drink real fast. So yeah, Ghost in the Shell is pretty popular. And Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex is one of the TV adaptation for, adaptation. It's based on the same manga, and it's another, sort of another take on Ghost in the Shell. This time not. This time it was by Kenji Kamiyama, yeah. This is a different take, but it's still more... It's more Standalone Complex, although a little bit more... Or more Standalone Complex, but more Ghost in the Shell, although a little bit more... police drama, I guess you could say. It's it's more Ghost in the Shell. I enjoy this a lot. And sort of unpopular, I kind of like Standalone Complex more than Ghost in the Shell, the movies. Which a lot of people definitely have opinions on. But for me, Standalone Complex just sort of offered a little more to me that I could enjoy. I think, although when I did rewatch Ghost in the Shell, I enjoyed it a lot more than I did the first time around. So, but it sort of gives me a little bit of a different flavor to Ghost in the Shell, which is why I was so upset when I watched the new Standalone Complex, the full CG one, because I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Hydrate or dihydrate. That's right. Well, I'm partial to this one. The OST alone makes the top 10. Oh, the OST for this one is great. There's so much good music in this one. But yeah, I'm not even going to get more into it. There's more Ghost in the Shell. If you like Ghost in the Shell, you'll probably like Standalone Complex as well. You might not like it as much as the original, or you might like it more. The jury's out. But Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex definitely deserves to be in there somewhere. The question is where? Sorry, Slam Dunk, but you're going to have to go. And I think I would do this, actually. Put it in 11th. Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Right under Bakano. At least for now. Again, we're gonna go through this list at the end and see. But for now, I'm gonna put it in 11th. It makes you think about where humanity is going technologically. It's worth it. Yep. Oshi's film is very far from the manga original by Masamune Shirow. To Standalone Complex is closer to better as an adaptation. Yeah, I mean, the so Mamoru Oshii's take on Ghost in the Shell is kind of just that. It's more loosely based on the manga. It's more the idea of Ghost in the Shell rather than sort of an adaptation of the manga, which was always the point. That's one of the good things about Ghost in the Shell as well. There's many takes on Ghost in the Shell, whether it be the original movies, the original manga, Standalone Complex, Arise. There's many takes on Ghost in the Shell. But you know what we haven't had in here so far? It's an idol show. Because, you know, if there's one thing we all need, it's idols in our lives. And Idolmaster is an idol show. It's based on a game. It's actually pretty good. I'm not the biggest Idol fan in the world. I'm not the biggest Idol show fan in the world. I say that after I've had two. I had Zombieland Saga earlier as well. But you know, Idolmaster for me is just straight up fun. There's something about it, the way the entire thing comes together, the way it is made, the way it is drawn, the way it is animated, the way they make the characters pop. The fact that this is one of the few idol anime out there with actual 2D dancing and stuff like that it definitely manages to get you into that idol sort of idol fandom mentality. It's pretty good at that. It's definitely a bit wishy-washy and a little bit like not pretentious, but like a sort of paints a brighter light of itself sometimes. But it's also not afraid to sort of touch on some of the sleazier things as well. I wouldn't say it goes straight into it. It's not like a critique of the idol industry in any way. That was never the point, but it's a fun show. It's a very fun show. Idolmaster, never seen it, but I know Kataramiya was addicted to the games. Yeah, it kind of became a meme. He wouldn't make Berserk because he was playing Idolmaster. Definitely not true, but you know. Didn't we have Macross? Oh yeah, true. Macross is an idol show. You know what? Never mind. I'm a huge huge idol fan. Never watched it, but seen some of the music. I hear good things. I should like more idol anime because I like music, but a lot of songs in the idol shows I've seen don't really click with me. I 100% agree with that, actually. There's a lot of idol anime, like, I'm not the biggest fan of idol music. But Idolmaster's a lot of different kinds of music, right? It's not, because there's so many, I just have the normal Idolmaster up here, but you have Cinderella Girls, you have other Million Live is happening, like you have the male versions, like there's so many different groups and so many different characters, so many different idols, that you just naturally end up with a lot of different producers and thus a lot of different styles of music. And there are definitely some very good songs in Idolmaster. I like some of them a lot, so yeah. Idolmaster is pretty good. You know, it's definitely one of those shows, like, if I were to recommend somebody an idol show, I would definitely recommend Idolmaster. Not Love Live, Idolmaster. Love Live is not good. No one should like Love Live. That's my opinion. Idolmaster's better. Idolmaster does not belong in the top 25. That was basically the point I was getting at. It does not belong in the top 25, but it's a good show. It's a good show. Takarajima is up next. There we go. Takarajima. Treasure Island. This is an anime adaptation of the classic novel Treasure Island, written by Scottish novelist Robert Louis Stevenson in 1882. And yeah, there was a time in anime where they really liked doing this. With World Masterpiece Theater and whatnot, they really liked adapting sort of classic novels. And Treasure Island, or Takarajima, is one of them. Jim Hawkins is a young boy led by progressive events to embark on a search journey for the legendary treasure of the once dreaded pirate, Captain Flint. On their way to Treasure Island, John Silver, Jim's best friend, take over command of the ship, revealing his true self as the ruthless pirate who once was the right hand of Flint himself. Feeling betrayed, Jim now has to deal with his mixed feelings and face Silver, who still considers himself as Jim as friends. Very short. 1978, damn. Yeah, dude. There's some good older shows, man. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. One Piece before One Piece, if you will. Not exactly, obviously, but it is it's an anime adaptation of Treasure Island. If you like that, chances are you'll probably enjoy Takarajima. It's not the greatest show out there, but it's fun. It has a lot of fun characterization. It really manages to sort of take on that sort of going out treasure hunting aesthetic and putting a decent spin on it, a decent story. But in general, you know, I would not say that this is top 25 material. I enjoy it a lot, but I feel like it sort of lacks a little bit too much in terms of, like, for example, Akage no An, which we have on the list, very high up, is also in fourth now. Actually, it's also based on a novel, and yeah, and it's sort of, but this one, Akage no An, lends a lot more to its actual anime adaptation. I find there's more to it. It's more enjoyable. You get something out of it. I find that Treasure Island is more, it doesn't stand out as much, and it doesn't need. It's mostly just, it's a lot more like, yeah, it's Treasure Island, but anime now, and that's fine. It's fun to watch, but it does not make it the greatest anime of all time, and not a top 25 either, in my opinion. Treasure Island got memed back into the scene because of the Russian Dr. Yeah. Alright. And here we go. I mean, I think I've already sort of spoiled this a little bit, so we can go quickly through this one. Hajime no Ippo. Hajime no Ippo is a boxing anime. It's inspired by Ashita no Joe. It lends a lot from Ashita no Joe. And it's very good. And the biggest thing this has over Ashita no Joe is that it's animated better, because it's from the 2000s and later. That helps a lot. Shonen Sports, long ass show. I love Hajime no Ippo. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a great show, all in all. All in all. So I'm not even gonna waste any more time. I did say that I like it more than Ashita no Joe, which basically just means one thing. It's going on the list. Top 15 and above at least. Yeah, I mean, it has... I like it more than Ashita no Joe. So me, it has to go above Ashita no Joe. So that means it's top 3, at least. Hajime no Ippo. And Hajime no Ippo should then... Bye-bye, Golden Time. I love you, and I will never forget you. But you're not a top 25 anime. Do I like it more than Lupin the Third? Do I like it more than Lupin the Third? Lupin the Third is so good. But it's also bad sometimes. It's so good. Nah. Third for now. Third for now. We can look at that later. Hajime no Ippo in third. It's a classic. Nothing more needs to be said. Yeah, it is. It's a classic, and it is inspired by another classic. Gankutsuo is up next. Gankutsuo, The Count of Monte Cristo. Another trippy show. Does it say here? No, it does not. So, yeah. This is essentially anime The Count of Monte Cristo, but not exactly. It's based on a different novel, or rather, they wanted to make The Count of Monte Cristo, but weren't allowed. So they based it off of a different novel instead. That is heavily inspired by The Count of Monte Cristo. 24 episodes. Drama, mystery, sci-fi, supernatural suspense. In the year 5053, French aristocrats Viscount Albert de Morcerf, you know what? Am I even going to do this? I'm so bad at French names. And Baron Franz d'Epinay attend the Festival of Carnival on the moon city of Luna. While Franz is just looking to have fun, Albert is seeking something more to fill his life. But he finds more than he bargained for in the Count of Monte Cristo, a mysterious and charming self-made nobleman who meets his gaze during an opera performance. Through a few twists and turns, Albert befriends the Count and introduces him into French society. The Count, however, has more on his mind than just friendship. He plots to finally unleash his vengeance on those who wronged him in years earlier. Gankutsuo follows Albert and the Count's intertwined destinies and the ultimate price paid for enacting revenge. Count of Monte Cristo art is quite unique, to be honest. It is. A lot of a lot of hit and miss for people, like the the sort of like filters they put over and whatnot. It can be a little jarring sometimes, but it's a show that just stands out in every way, basically. Not only visually, but also because its setting, it's the Count of Monte Cristo, but sci-fi, and just in general, there's just a lot to like about this one. And that's it, because it is a revenge story, obviously. But the way it all unfolds, the way the Count just sort of goes into people's life, the way he sort of inserts himself and causes chaos in everyone and throws everyone for a loop, the way he tries to bring down the aristocrats, the way they fight back, they just... I love this show. I genuinely didn't think I would, because like when I heard about this show, I had heard so many good things about it. People really like hyped this show up, so I was like, I'm not gonna like this show. But I ended up really, really, really enjoying it. It was one of my favorite shows I'd watched in a long time. Well, yeah, for me this is a no-brainer. This is top 25. Not sure how to feel about the story. Yeah, I can feel it. I can see that. It's a stunning show to watch. Gankutsuo. I want to rewatch it now. God damn it. Stream's over. I'm rewatching Gankutsuo. No. So Shinsekai Yori is definitely getting out of here. That's not even a question. The question then becomes, where does this fit? Nah, I think I'm putting it above Fate Zero as well, actually. I think I do this. I could so. In 6th, for now. For now. Near Ghost in the Shell. All the way down in 13th. I don't think so, no. It's definitely above Madoka. Clanad. Yeah, I think I'm putting it at 6 for now. Again, that can be, we can discuss that later when we're doing the last 25. I've been streaming for 2.5 hours almost, so we are down to the last 14. And I'd love to wrap this up before we hit 4 hours. So yeah, Neon Genesis Evangelion. I mean, this is a bit of a non-debate in my opinion, because like we all know Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's really hard to get into anime without having heard about this show, or hearing about this show, or learning about the existence of this show, or learning about how people still cannot stop fighting over who's best waifu. And you know, look at Japan and see all the merch, see how big of an impact this show has still after all this time. Rebuild movies have happened as well. Just there's so much to Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's such an important piece in anime, and at that point, I feel like I really like Neon Genesis Evangelion. I think it's really great, but it's almost like a non-debate. Like, does this belong in the top 25? I feel like no matter how you choose to look at it, you can't really exclude Neon Genesis Evangelion from a top 25 list, other than being like, I don't like it, and this is completely based on my own personal preferences, in which it's sure, you go. But like, by any other metric, Ava just ends up on there. It's been talked about for ages for a reason. Yep, it definitely has. So therefore, I'm not even gonna get into it. We're just gonna go through it. We're just gonna find a place to put it. Neon Genesis Evangelion. Now I have to remember, I'm not taking the movie into account because End of Eva is one of my favorite anime movies of all time. But that's not what I'm rating here. I'm not rating the movie. This is just a top 25 TV series. So where does that put? Top 10 at least. Agreed. If it was the movie included, I probably would have put it above Gankutsu, maybe even above Akage no En, maybe above Ashitacho. That could be argued. The movie is not included, however, or the End of Eva movie is not included, so I think I'm gonna get rid of Angel Beats. And I think I will do this. Like so. I think that is fine for now. 8th for now. Again, it will be debated at the end, but we shall see. I'll put it 8 for now. Hoseki no Kuni is up next. Hoseki no Kuni. You know, again, in case anyone hasn't noticed yet, you know, if you take a look at my channel icon, and you'll see a familiar face. So you can probably, based on that, assume what I think about this show. You can probably assume that I like this show. I think that's a safe assumption. This is one of those shows that I really wish there was more. Made by Studio Orange, it's full CG, and is based on a manga. In a mysterious future, crystalline organisms called gems inhabit a world that has been destroyed by 6 meteors. Each gem is assigned a role in order to fight against the Lunarians, a species who attack them in order to shatter their bodies and use them as decorations. Phosphopolite, also known as Phos, is a young and fragile gem who dreams of helping their friends in the war effort. Instead, they are told to compile an encyclopedia because of their delicate condition. After begrudgingly embarking on this task, Phos meets Cinnabar, an intelligent gem who has been relegated to patrolling the isolated island at night because of the corrosive poison in their body, because of the corrosive poison their body creates. After seeing how unhappy Cinnabar is, Phos decides to find a role that both of the rejected gems can enjoy. Asoken Kuni follows Phos' efforts to be useful and protect their fellow gems. I don't know this. Top napping. I can recommend this show for people interested in character development, but it's hard for me to do so for people who want the full story. Have you read the manga? Yeah, it's only adapted to the start. Yeah, that is the biggest downfall of this. It's not the full thing. The manga's still ongoing, if I'm not mistaken. But it is, what is here is still really good. And holy shit, there is some, I don't even know if I want to call it character progression. I almost call it character regression. There's a lot of stuff. Phos goes through some shit in this show. That's for damn sure. And yeah, nah, it's a fantastic show. I love it. I love it so much. I definitely need to get a hold of the manga. I haven't been able to do so yet, sadly. But I want to own it. I want to read it. I want to get more of this. I do want more anime. I do want a second season of it. But it's probably never going to happen because Studio Orange is instead making... What's it? Fucking Trigun now? Yeah, Trigun Stampede. Like, I mean... I'm not the biggest fan of Trigun, but like, come on. Did we really need more Trigun? Did we really need another Trigun? I don't know. If you like the show, you were gonna love the manga. It only gets better. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Like I said, it's not a matter of whether or not I'm going to get the manga. It's mostly been a matter of whether or not I'm able to get the manga, and so far, the answer is no. I went to my local my local manga shop to see if they had it, and they had some of it, but I don't know. I didn't want to get it because they didn't have like the beginning of it, and like I want to basically just have all the volumes. I don't want to have like volume 4 and then volume 13 and like nah, that's not it. I could have at least dug up a show that needed a remake. Yeah, that's basically where I'm at. Like, I love Studio Orange, but goddamn, dude, not Trigun. I'm optimistic about the new Trigun. It seems to be a remix of the story, and the manga had a better ending than the anime, which finished before it was complete. Yeah, that's what I've heard. So, I mean, again, I hope it's good, by all means, but like, it's not what I would have wanted. I would have much rather had Houseki no Kuni second season. Like, god damn it, just do it for me. Just allow me to have this one thing. Okay, Houseki no Kuni. Does it belong in the top 25? You bet your sweet baby it does. Does it belong in the top 10? I don't think so. If I were to put it anywhere, I would put it above Kuroko no Basket, that's for damn sure. And I think I would put it above the Eccentric Family. I think I would do this. Right here in 15th. Houseki no Kuni is a great show. I love it. I love it too much. It's really good. Alright. Up next, Vinland Saga, Final 12. Vinland? Vinland Saga. Vikings. My culture. Wow. My country was featured in this. Young Thorfinn grew up listening to the stories of old sailors that had traveled the ocean and reached a place of legend, Vinland. It's said to be warm and fertile, a place where there would be no need for fighting. Not at all like the frozen villages in Iceland, where he was born, and certainly not like his current life as a mercenary. War is his home now, though his father once told him, "You have no enemies." Nobody does. There's nobody who it's okay to hurt. As he grew, Thorfinn knew that nothing was further from the truth. The war between England and the Danes grew worse with each passing year. Death has become commonplace, and the Viking mercenaries are loving every moment of it. Allying with either side will cause a massive swing in the balance of power, and the Vikings are happy to make names for themselves and take any spoils they earn along the way. Among the chaos, Thorfinn must take his revenge and kill Askeladden, the man who murdered his father. The only paradise for the Vikings, it seems, is the era of war and death that rages on. Yeah, Viking show, but anime. It's a very good show. It's got a second season coming out. When does that start? January 10th. It starts. Oh my god, it starts in 4 days. Hell yeah, I am definitely watching that. I really like Vinland Saga. It's a good show. Just a straight up good show. I'm partial because, you know, being from Norway, I do like Viking culture. I do like that whole thing, and just sort of seeing that animated is like it's two of my favorite worlds colliding essentially. Season 2 will adapt the amazing farm arc. Askeladden is also among the best antagonists. Yeah, he is very cool. He is very cool indeed. There's just a lot to it. Thorfinn, I think, is a little annoying at times. Like, I understand his desire for revenge, but like, I think it definitely takes a while for him before I started to be okay with him. He's a little bitchy for me. Not even bitchy, it's just, oh, they killed my father, but like, sometimes I just want to shake him and be like, use your brain a little, you idiot. And yeah, Vinland Saga is really good. Really good. The only thing is, I don't know if I would be willing to put it into top 25. Not yet. After the second season, that might very well have changed. But, that might very well change after the second season. But for now, with only the first season, I don't know if I think it has enough quality in it to warrant the top 25. That's hard. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Again, the second season could change anything, but for now, I think there's not enough. I don't think I feel comfortable putting it above anything else here. For now. And then we have Steins Gate. Your personal number one, Steins Gate. Really? I mean, it's got a 9.08 on Mal. You know, it's pretty. I'd say people rate this show, to be honest. I'd say people think this is a really good show. My White Box. There's an visual novel, psychological time travel. Eccentric scientist Rintaro Okabe has a never-ending thirst for scientific exploration. Together with his ditzy but well-meaning friend Mayuri China and his roommate Itaru Hashida, Rintaro founds the Future Gadget Laboratory in the hopes of creating technological innovations that baffle the human psyche. Despite claims of grandeur, the only notable gadget the trio have created is a microwave that has the mystifying power to turn bananas into green goo. However, when Rintaro decides to attend neuroscientist Kurisu Makise's conference on time travel, he experiences a series of strange events that leads him to believe that there is more to the phone microwave gadget than meets the eye. Apparently, able to send text messages into the past using the microwave, Rintaro dabbles further with the time machine, attracting the ire and attention of the mysterious organization CERN. Due to the novel discovery, Rintaro and his friends find themselves in an ever-present danger. As he works to mitigate the damage his innovation has caused to the timeline, he is not only fighting a battle to save his loved ones, but also one to save his degrading sanity. Time travel shows are always difficult. Because, like, it's always hard to sort of, when you're playing with something as finicky as time and changing the past, or the future for that matter, like, you always end up with this issue where it's like, how much could things be affected, and what exactly constitutes an effect on the timeline, right? Because you have the idea that any minor thing will change the outcome of something, yada yada. Then you have, changing major events, sort of preventing somebody's death, causing somebody's death, will obviously have impacts and whatnot. And I feel like Steins Gate is one of those shows that, like, it's one of the shows that does it the best that I've seen. It managed to sort of stick to a sort of pretty decent sort of line. But even then, it does still sort of fall into that sort of same problem. It's like, time travel is just not an easy concept, because, like, I think the dumbest thing people can do is making a time travel theme or a time travel story, and then sort of pretend like they know what time travel would actually do, right? Like, it doesn't really work that way. You are exploring something that, like, you can do with it exactly as you please, but that's also the biggest flaw of time travel, because you're going to have to try to justify that to somebody who probably doesn't agree with you. This just hit different for me. Love all the build-up and how they gave the cast some background. Yes. There's a lot of build-up to this one, and I think that's probably the thing that throws a lot of people off when they try to watch Steins Gate. They feel like it's going to be amazing right from the get-go, and then they come into it, and it's like, what is this? Like, this is taking so long. What is happening? Why aren't we moving forward? And that's just Steins Gate. It's like, it takes a while to set everything up. Like, for a while, it sort of just feels like we're just watching a maniac who just thinks himself as a mad scientist, and, he's a talker friend, and yeah, it's weird. It's a weird show. It's not for everyone, but it is very good, and I definitely do think it belongs in the top 25. It is a really good show. One of the best time travel shows I've seen. Still has some issues, but it's definitely not a bad show. El Sai Kongaru, that's right. Man, that means great teacher Onizuka is out. Oh, that hurts. Actually, can I not add Steins Gate? No. Oh, that sucks, dude. Holy shit, I really like great teacher Onizuka. Man. I think I'll put it in 11. For now. I might put it down later. But for now, I think it's going to go into 11th. Onizuka lives in the top 25 in our hearts. It sure does. Top 25 Onizukas of all time. Some might even call it top 1 Onizuka of all time. Silver Spoon. Anyway, Silver Spoon. Right there, without any prompting, you put it I. What's to say you didn't know? What's to say you didn't have any impact on that, huh? No, I'm joking. I mean, I do really like Steins Gate. Like I said, I'm not done with this yet, and even after we've done all the shows, I might still change things around. So there's no guarantee it's going to be that high. It might be lower, but it's like, it's a difficult one because I really rate the show, and I see shows that I would normally put under it, but then I see shows below it that I would normally put above it, and I'm just like, Now I'm confused. So we'll see where it ends up. But anyways, Silver Spoon. You like farming? Who likes farming? I don't like farming. I've been on a farm. It's not fun. Stinks, smells. I mean, some things are fun. You know. Silver Spoon is a great show about essentially finding yourself, right? Because Yugo Hachiken is studious, hardworking, and tired of trying to live up to expectations he just cannot meet. With the ushering in of a brand new school year, he decides to enroll in Oeso Agricultural High School, a boarding school located in the Hokkaido countryside, as a means to escape from the stress brought upon by his parents. Initially convinced that he would do well in this institution, Hachiken is quickly proven wrong by his talented classmates, individuals who have been living on farms their entire lives, and know just about everything when it comes to food, vegetables, and even the physiology of livestock. Whether it be waking up at 5 in the morning for strenuous labor, or to take care of farm animals, Hachiken is a complete amateur when it comes to the harsh agricultural life. Gin no Saji follows the comedic story of a young student as he tries to fit into a completely new environment, meeting many unique people along the way. As he struggles to appreciate his surroundings, Hachiken hopes to discover his dreams, so that he may lead a fulfilling life on his own terms. Farming is mid. Farming is mid. And mid does not make it into the top 25. You're out of it. Silver Spoon. Man, I really like this. Like I said, sort of as a show about finding yourself and sort of like dealing with the pressure and stress of everyday life and sort of high expectations and whatnot, and just trying something completely different to find like what you enjoy. The show is great. But most importantly, more important than anything else, it has such great looking food. Like, anime food in general is really good, but goddamn it, Silver Spoon food. Oh, just thinking about it is making me hungry. Me living in a farming village. Yeah. There used to be a lot of farms around me when I was younger, but that's changing. It's kind of sadly, but also at the same time, it's like, it means I don't have to go into the farms too much anymore. Does it pass the cabbage test? Oh, it passes the cabbage test. Oh, it definitely passes the cabbage test. It 100% does. Top 25, though. Ooh, this is getting tough. This is getting really, really difficult. Do I think it's better than worse than Flying Witch? I really like Flying Witch though. But I have to. It's just I have to be realistic. Silver Spoon is better than Flying Witch. No, I don't have to be realistic. Never mind. I take it back. Fuck being realistic. It's in the top 25 of anime where the cabbage test is relevant. Hell yeah. This passes the cabbage test with flying colors. Therefore, it's 100% in the top 25. Or probably even be in the top 5 of the cabbage test anime. Oh, man. What I really like. No. Flying Witch. Flying Witch is better. Flying Witch is better. You know you like Flying Witch, but everyone likes Flying Witch. Not everybody likes Silver Spoon. Keep coping. Alright, Gatchaman Crowds is up next. Let's just move on before I change my mind again. Gatchaman Crowds. Next video. Next video. Why Flying Witch is so much better than Silver Spoon. I'm gonna make a video just to justify that. But yeah, Gatchaman Crowds. Sentai Filmworks. That was not what I want to say. It was Tatsunoko production, but it is sort of. Hajime Ichinosa's ordinary life is in for a change when a transcendent being named J.J. Robinson hands her a small book called Note, a device which transforms her into one of the Gatchaman, the legendary protectors of Tachikawa City. Stressing that the existence of their group must remain a secret, fellow Gatchaman Sugane Tachibana takes Hajime to their base of operations, where Paimon, the panda-like alien leader, of the Gatchaman reveals their purpose to eliminate aliens that pose a danger to humanity. These existential threats, called mess, are becoming increasingly dangerous, destroying everything they touch. Now it's up to the Gatchaman and their new recruit to stop them before the world is engulfed in chaos. Basically, this is a spin-off of a very old show from 1972 called Gatchaman. Kagaku Ninja Tai Gatchaman. It's sort of a modern take on the like superhero, Super Sentai style style shows. But with more like modern society and technological advancement in mind. It's very interesting, actually. It's a very interesting show. Directed by Kenji Nakamura. I like a lot. He does a lot of good shows, and including Mononoke. And yeah, Gatchaman Crowds is really good. It has one problem though, which I have to take into consideration. Gatchaman Crowds didn't end very well. Like, that's a sequel as well, but one thing that sort of had to clear up a lot of things. They had to do a director's cut in order to sort of clear up some things. But that's a special, so that doesn't count. So I have to take this thing into consideration without it. In which case, yeah, this does not make it into the top 25. Gatchaman Cross is it's a highly recommended show. It's really good. I love this show, but without that one episode, the ending to the first season of Gatchaman Crowds is gonna feel very strange, very rushed. So yeah, it is what it is though. All right, Haito Genso no Grimgar. Haito Genso no Grimgar. You know, Isekai anime, light novel A1. We all know the Isekai stuff. Fierce survival instinct thrown into a foreign land with nothing but hazy memories and the knowledge of their name. They can feel only these three emotions resonating deep within their souls. A group of strangers is given no other choice than to accept the only paying job in this game-like world, the role of a soldier in the reserve army, and eliminating anything that threatens the peace in their new world, Grimgar. When all of the stronger candidates join together, those left behind must create a party together to survive. Manato, a charismatic leader and priest, Haruhiro, a nervous thief, Yume, a cheerful hunter, Shihoru, a shy mage, Moguso, a kind warrior, and Anta, a rowdy dark knight. Despite its resemblance to one, this is no game. There are no redos or respawns, it is kill or be killed. It is now up to this ragtag group of unlikely fighters to survive together in a world where life and death are separated only by a fine line. I think I've seen clips of this, but never seen a full episode. Ooh, meh. Grimgar, Ashes and Illusions is a show that I really enjoy. However, it is worth noting that the things that I enjoy about this the things that I enjoy the most about this is almost entirely production related. One, I love the music. Because this was, a lot of this was sort of like, not even dialogue based, it's literally just kind of like music video-y, with like music from No Name and whatnot, as they play over sort of like the scenes of them going through their lives and whatnot, and stuff like that, and I love that. The animation is really good, there's a lot of attention to detail. It's just an overall pretty good production. I have, however, heard that the original, it's a light novel, yes it is. The original light novel that it is based on is not very good, which is a shame. But I did enjoy this. But it is not top 25. Because again, like, if we were talking production, it wouldn't be top 25 in production either, but it would definitely be a strong candidate to be considered. It is a very well put together show, but the story isn't necessarily the best, nor is it technically done. It is, yeah. It's a pretty show. It's a very pretty show. That's basically it. So not a top 25 for me. But I do like it. I do really like it. Pretty sure I have the box set of this, but I haven't watched it. Remember hearing it recommended like twice though. Yeah. People liked it when it came out. I liked it a lot when it was airing as well. Like I said, there's a lot of good parts to it, but overall, not the greatest show ever. But it's good. It's good. I enjoy it. Kyoso Giga. This is actually going to be really difficult for me. Because we have Kyoso Giga, the TV series, and we have Kyoso Giga, the 2012, the ONA. But we're talking about the TV series. And it's by Toei. Action fantasy, and it's an original. Long ago, there was a monk named Myoe who could bring anything he drew to life. He quietly lived with his wife Koto, a black rabbit in human form, and their three children, Yakushimaru, Kurama, and Yase. One day, the high priest of the land concluded that Myoe's drawings caused too many problems for the locals and ordered him to find a solution. In response, the family secretly fled to an alternate world of Myoe's own creation, the Looking Glass City. Everything was peaceful until Myoe and Koto suddenly vanished. Their three children are left to take care of the city, and Yakushimaru inherits Myoe's name and duties. Stranded in this alternate world, their problems only get worse when a young girl, also named Koto, crashes down from the sky and declares that she is also looking for the older Myoe and Koto. Armed with a giant hammer and two rowdy familiars, Koto just might be the key to releasing everyone from their eternal paper city. On this guy, I'm reading the Ray Earth manga, and the girls are isekai to save this magical world. And they're constantly saying, oh, this is just like an RPG, and this is in the early 90s. Funny stuff. Well, yeah. So, I mean, the funny thing about isekai is that, like, it depends on kind of where you look at it, but there's technically very old isekai. Like, there's old Japanese folklore that is technically isekai, or at least can be viewed as isekai. Like, there's just... It's not as recent as people like to think that it is, but it's recently popularized, and it's sort of popularized because people like video games. Like, there's a lot of overlap between video game fans and anime fans, unsurprisingly. Yeah, and that's sort of where a lot of the recent popularity of isekai came from. But isekai didn't just suddenly show up when Sword Art Online released. Like, even with Those Who Hunt Elves, is just off the top of my head. That's a show from the 90s, and it's isekai. Like, same thing. And a lot of it's like RPG inspired. A lot of it is sort of Dungeons and Dragons inspired and whatnot. Like, a lot of that, like, fantasy medieval setting and just being transported to another world. It existed a long time before. I was about to say Bison. Well, that's the name of the city. What's it called? Dunbine, or A Battler Dunbine is another one. That's from the 80s. Technically also isekai. So it's like, depends on what you want to say. Like, when did isekai start existing? Technically a long time ago. There was Escaflowne for one thing. Escaflowne is another one, yeah. So like, isekai has sort of been around for a lot longer than people like to give it credit for. It's just, you know, Sword Art Online and those shows, and like the video game aesthetic to it. It's kind of what really brought forward the popularity of the genre. And now, well, subgenre, I guess. Now people are sort of trying, a lot of new isekai is sort of trying to return to like a more fantasy setting rather than just straight up video gamey. I feel like there's a lot of people, especially a lot of like modern fantasy writers, can't really look past the video gamey aspects of it, because it's like, at this point, I mean, video games are fantasy, very often fantasy inspired, so I feel like there's a lot of overlap there for a lot of people. Mushoku Tensei, I haven't seen that one. But yeah, anyways, Kyoso Giga. I really like Kyoso Giga. Like, it's a nice family show. Weirdly enough. But that is what this is about. It's about family. It's very heartwarming. It's really chaotic. It's such a beautiful show to watch. Very colorful. animated nice. I love it. Matsumoto Rie director. And then for different episode directors as well. It's just, there's so many contrasting elements to it. It's such a fun watch. I really rate this show. I really rate Kyoso Giga, which is why I think I'll probably put it in the top 25. Oh, but that is so hard. Is it above Flying Witch though? I really don't want to put Flying Witch out of the top 25, but I also really want to include Kyoso Giga. God damn it. God damn top 25s. It's fantasy pretty much. It's a guy fantasy. Yeah. I have to. Like, what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna put it in 21. Like, it's not even. I like Kyoso Giga. It's good. Oh my god, boys, we are on the last 6. We're nearing the end. And now for a commercial. Let's go. As long as standalone complex is safe, I'm happy. All right, so just because you said that, we're now going to remove standalone complex from the list, just so I can have Flying Witch in here. Yeah. Standalone complex is not going to fall out. Black Lagoon. Wrong one. Black Lagoon. Black Lagoon is really good. Although, I said TV anime, so that means that the Roberta's Blood Trail OVA is technically not up for consideration. And I really like Roberta's Blood Trail. I think that is where Black Lagoon really... Like, a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, Roberta is just an awesome character in general. It's her peak. Roberta's Blood Trail is just her peak. Yeah. And that's where I enjoyed Black Lagoon the most. But Black Lagoon in general is pretty good. Just full-on action show by Madhouse. Salaryman Rokuro Okajima spends his days trying to climb his company's corporate ladder until one day when a business negotiation in Thailand goes awry. During a botched deal, he falls hostage to the Lagoon Company, a band of ruthless pirate mercenaries. Left to the whims of his captors, after his managers refuse to pay his ransom, Rokuro does the unthinkable. Instead of begging for his life, he joins the very crew who kidnapped him. Now a member of the group, Rokuro must adjust his new residence in the dissolute hellscape known as Ranipur, a city where corruption and crime run rampant. And even the smallest slip-up could cost him his life. If not for one of the many crime syndicates on the island, Rokuro also constantly finds himself at odds with his brash, gunslinging colleague, Revi. As Rokuro struggles to abandon his past, and with more than just the profits from the Lagoon Company's illegal trading on the line, he must quickly find a resolve to make tough decisions in high-stress situations, while keeping his humanity intact. Yeah, no. Again, Black Lagoon is just one of the best action anime made. The fight scenes are great. It's even got a good dub. I love the dub of this one. I normally don't like dubs, but Black Lagoon was nailed in the dub department. It's a staple of anime in my opinion. Like if you're going to look at if you're gonna make an action anime and you're going to look for the anime that you're trying to top, like what's the thing you are trying to be better in, I would say that's Black Lagoon. I just don't think there's been any straight up action anime that has been better than Black Lagoon in that department. There's other aspects to it and story and whatnot that aren't necessarily always the best, but god damn it, it's just cool. Black Lagoon is just cool. Good action and comedy show, but not as good as those in the top 25. I completely disagree. 100% disagree. I think it's great. Revy indeed. Pray for Revy. Pray for the booty shorts. Black Lagoon. Great show. Great show. And that means Maiden Abyss is gone. Bye. I think I'll do this for now. It'll probably end up being lower on the list later, but I'm going to put it here for now. We will see. I really rate Black Lagoon. Off to the Abyss with it. Hell yeah. Maiden Abyss, return to the Abyss from whence you came. And next up is Prison School, which is... Why do we even going to talk about this? Prison School is the best anime ever made. Man, Prison School. You know, I really love the manga. Like, Prison School was so great. Until we got into that stupid ass goddamn... Ugh. The fucking, like, what was it? I'd even forgotten, like, the culture festival thing. That thing lasted way too long and nothing happened and just... God. And so the manga fell off so hard. But this isn't the manga. This is the anime. Located on the outskirts of Tokyo, Hachimitsu Private Academy is a prestigious all-girls boarding school famous for its high-quality education and disciplined students. However, this is all about to change due to the revision of the school's most iconic policy, as boys are now able to enroll as well. At the start of the first semester, under this new decree, a mere 5 boys have been accepted, effectively splitting the student body into a ratio of 200 girls to 1 boy. Kiyoshi, Gakuto, Shingo, Andre, and Joe are quickly cast away without having a chance to make any kind of a first impression. Unable to communicate with their fellow female students, the eager boys set their sights on a far more dangerous task: peeping into the girls' bath. It's only after their plan is thoroughly decimated by the infamous Underground Student Council that the motley crew find their freedom abruptly taken from them, as they are thrown into the school's prison, with a sentence of an entire month as punishment. Thus begins the tale of the boys' harsh lives in prison school, a righteous struggle that will ultimately test the bonds of friendship and perverted brotherhood. Straight up comedy. Straight up perverted comedy to the max. This is funny as shit, and I don't care. I don't care if you say that I have the humor of a 5-year-old. It's true. I laughed so many times watching this. It is so funny. Anime for men of culture. Gakuto, best character in my opinion. Prison School is the golden shower of anime. Plenty of culture and questionableness. That is, yes. 100%. Not only because they have golden shower jokes in it, but yes. Absolutely. There is just so toilet humor at its finest. Yep. Like, Prison School is up there, or down there, I guess, depending on how you want to say it, with, shit. I was about to say Golden Time, but that's the wrong show. What the fuck? I have completely forgotten the name. Golden Boy. Golden Time. There's so many. Golden Time, Golden Kamui, Golden Boy. There we go. Golden Boy. Jesus Christ. But yeah, it is up there or down there with Golden Boy. Like, this is just, it's toilet humor. It's at its finest. It is funny as hell. One of the best comedy anime out there of all time. Not even because it's perverted comedy, but just, it's so good at it. It's so... It manages to take itself just seriously enough while still being silly as hell. And that's part of what makes it funny. Does it belong in the top 25 though? It's still comedy after all. And again, comedy is not easy, and there's nothing that says the comedy doesn't belong in the top 25. But there's just this part of me that still goes like, I don't know. And I can't help it, my bias for fucking the way the manga just fell off. Nah, it's not. It doesn't make it into the top 25. Sorry. Golden Bye. All right. Psycho Pass. Psycho Pass. Man. If this would have been after Season 1 came out, I did this, I would have absolutely just said that Psycho Pass is 100% in top 25. Psycho Pass is great. I love it. It is so good. There's sadly 2 more seasons of it. Psycho Pass 2. No, sorry. Yeah, it's 2 seasons and a movie. Or 3 movies. Yep. 4 movies? No, 4 movies. God damn, there's more Psycho-Pass than I remember. There's too much Psycho-Pass. Psycho-Pass used to be so good. Original production IG, adult cast, detective, psychological. Justice and the enforcement of it has changed. In the 22nd century, Japan enforces the civil system, an objective means of determining the threat level of each citizen by examining their mental state for signs of criminal intent, known as their Psycho-Pass. Inspectors uphold the law by subjugating, often with lethal force, anyone harboring the slightest ill will. Alongside them are enforcers, jaded inspectors that have become blatant criminals, granted relative freedom in exchange for carrying out the inspector's dirty work. Into this world steps Akane Tsunemori, a young woman with an honest desire to uphold justice. However, as she works alongside veteran enforcer Shinya Kogami, she soon learns that the civil system's judgment are not as perfect as her fellow inspectors assume. With everything she has known turned on its head, Akane wrestles with the question of what justice truly is, and whether it can be upheld through the use of a system that may already be corrupt. Oh, it's such a great show. It fell off so damn hard for me. Same. Like, it was so good. They had it all. And then, just returning, fucking putting Tsunemori back in like a sort of secondary character role, introducing a new character that's just, or not even introducing, but putting a new main character that's just not as likable, not as fun to watch, just kind of annoying, going away from a lot of the fun things of the sort of questioning of the civil system, the morality of it all, the way it all works. This future dystopian city of just perfectness. Everyone has to be perfect. If you are the slightest bit jaded, you are a criminal. It has such a good premise. It could have been a great show. It could have been one of the great shows. And then it just fell on its face. Such a waste. Such a waste. Yeah, it does not belong in the top 25. It should have belonged in the top 25. God damn it, it should have belonged in the top 25. I'm mad that it doesn't. It is top 25 material. Just isn't good enough. Alright, Bakuman is up next. Bakuman. And I'm gonna grab something to drink real fast before I continue, because we are approaching the end. And we have been streaming for 3 hours. Perfectly on time. Hell yeah. So yeah, Bakuman by JC Staff, manga otaku culture. Definitely. As a child, Moritaka Mashiro dreamt of becoming a mangaka, just like his childhood hero and uncle, Taro Kawaguchi, creator of a popular gag manga, but when tragedy strikes, he gives up on his dream and spends his middle school days studying, aiming to become a salaryman instead. One day, his classmate Akito Takagi, the school's top student and aspiring writer, notices the detailed drawings in Moritaka's notebook. Seeing the vast potential of his artistic talent, Akito approaches Moritaka, proposing that they become mangaka together. After much convincing, Moritaka realizes that if he is able to create a popular manga series, he may be able to get the girl he has a crush on, Mio Asuki, to take part in the anime adaptation as a voice actor. Thus, the pair begins creating manga under the pen name Muto Ashirogi, hoping to become the greatest mangaka in Japan, the likes of which no one has ever seen. Basically, so yeah, this is an anime about creating manga, and effectively this is the anime about making Death Note. Funny enough, it's a very good show. I agree. I really like it. I've not seen all of it as of right now, sadly. So that is something that I'm gonna have to get more into. One of the things that I definitely need done. I enjoy Bakuman a great deal. And again, if you're into just otaku culture, manga, that stuff, this is a must-watch. However, I do not think it's a top 25 anime of all time, sadly. Maybe I would think it if I watched more of it, but from what I've seen, I don't think it belongs. It just isn't good enough. Then we have Higurashi. Higurashi no Nakukoro ni, and I'm talking about the 2006 version there, not the new one. Yeah, the original adaptation of this visual novel. I've heard lots of praise of the show, haven't seen it sadly. Yeah, no same. I have a friend who adores Bakuman, and he made me watch, well, he didn't make me watch it. He's the reason why I did watch it though. So, and yeah, I can definitely understand. I don't like it as much as he does, but it is absolutely great. Why can I see scores? Confused. Whatever. Higurashi, When They Cry, Studio Dean. Horror, mystery, supernatural, suspense, gore, psychological. Keiichi Maebara has just moved to the quiet little village of Hinamisawa in the summer of 1983 and quickly becomes inseparable friends with schoolmates Rena Ryugu, Mion Sonosaki, Satoko Hojo, and Ika Furude. However, darkness lurks underneath the seemingly idyllic life they lead. As the village prepares for its annual festival, Keiichi learns about the local legend surrounding it. To his horror, he discovers that there have been several murders and disappearances in the village in the recent years, and that they all seem to be connected to the festival and the village's patron god, Oyashiro. Keiichi tries to ask his new friends about these incidents, but they are suspiciously silent and refuse to give him the answer he needs. As more and more bizarre events occur, he wonders just what else his friends might be keeping from him, and if he can even trust them at all. When madness and paranoia begin taking root in Keiichi's heart, he will stumble straight into the mysteries at work in Higurashi no Nakukoro ni, a story that is told across multiple arcs. Technolast, Land, Biba, Vision of Gavona, Legend of Galactic Heroes, Master Keaton, Yamato 2199, and sequel, Space Annies. Bakuman manga has some good points, but also some parts where it seems like they were winging it. Probably were. Big skull though, damn. From the poster. Welcome in. Yeah, alright. So, Higurashi, man. This is one of those shows that is hard to rate, because, goddammit, I really like the original Higurashi. I started watching the new one and I kind of fell out of it. That wasn't quite as interesting. It didn't quite hold my interest for as long. Could just be because I've seen it before and I didn't feel like rewatching it, but yeah. It's not perfect, by no means. Based on a visual novel, so, you know, it's important to take into account whenever you see these things. It means that this is a shortened down version by a lot, and but it still is one of those anime that sort of, I don't know if I want to straight up call it horror. It often gets touted as one of like big horror anime. I don't know if I necessarily want to call it straight up horror. I'd say it's more like gory and violent, like, yeah, suspense, supernatural, gore, rather than just straight up horror. Like, it's horrific imagery, but like, I don't know. What I call like a splatter film, not exactly a splatter film either, but I mean, I guess more so in that direction. It is extremely violent. It is mind-bendy as fuck, and it is just straight up enjoyable. And I love this show. For all of its flaws, I love this show. There's 7.89 on Mal. I think it's too low, but whatever. That's my opinion. It's such a great show. I love this show. I love the show more than it deserves. 100%. So, because of that, Higurashi is going into the top 25. For me. Probably not as high as I would have normally liked to put it, though. That means One Punch Man is gone. Sorry, One Punch Man. Nah, I think I'll do this, actually. Gitten goes down, and Higurashi goes into 24th. There we go. Alright. Oh boy. We only have one show left. And when this is done, we're going to take a final look at the top 25. And decide the order. The last one is Attack on Titan. A show that everyone knows. I love how going through the randomizer and just taking out all the shows that ended up with Attack on Titan at the end. I feel like the randomizer was rigged. There's no way. AOT is very loved, but also very hated. This anime just stirs people up. It sure does. Which makes sense, because for me, this show went from great to not very great to more interesting again. And then it provided me with a twist that I quite frankly was not very happy with. Not because of what happened so much, but because of the way it was presented. Like, I don't particularly enjoy having sort of the world building kind of shattered. Like, there's definitely things that sort of like it explains the Titans better. But the things that sort of irks me is a little bit like when you introduce like a new concept to the world, or rather, an expanded world, and you sort of sit there and you just go like, wouldn't that be very strange? Like, considering the fact that like no one knows about it. I mean, whatever, except for a few people. But you know, it sort of ended up with a lot more questions, in my opinion. I feel like they kind of just skimped over. But Attack on Titan at its best is definitely very fun, very good, a very good show. I really did highly rate Attack on Titan for a while. But then it's sort of like, it bounced up and down for me in sort of like, it's very good at times, and then it's not as good, and then it gets very good again, and then not as good, and I don't know, it's inconsistent. I also heard from people that the manga ending is apparently great. And that is not what I wanted to hear. So yay. It does a lot of things right, deserves to be in the list, at least for me. It's sometimes like, yeah, this exists now, deal with it. Yeah, kinda. I mean, I should have expected it, because considering the fact that, you know, the first like really big, well, one of the first really big plot reveals is literally just a MacGuffin. We need to go to the basement. Why aren't we going to the basement then? Because we can't go there yet. Okay. Of course. But it hides all the secrets. Then why are we waiting? Most of the time I watch and read stuff that's finished. Titan is one of those that just kept rolling. A story needs an end. Yeah. Manga ending is divisive for certain. Curious to see people's reaction once it's animated. Yep. That's basically where I'm at. I haven't read the manga myself. But I have a lot of friends who have. And so far they have been pretty much universally negative on it. Which basically doesn't bode well for me. Although maybe, who knows, maybe I'm the weird one. Maybe I'm the one who's gonna like it. I don't know. But yeah, Attack on Titan is definitely divisive. Deserves to be in the list, at least for me. So playing with that idea then. If Attack on Titan belongs in the top 25 anime of all time, where does it belong? I'm gonna remove Gin. I love Gin. I think Gin is more fun than Attack on Titan, but I don't necessarily think it's better. So then that takes away that. But does Attack on Titan belong in 25th? Below Higurashi? If it was based on my math scores, I could have absolutely done that, yes. But that is not what it is. Anohana, Kyosogiga, Ping Pong, Mob Psycho 100, NHK, The Eccentric Family, Hoseki no Kuni, Shibakano. Alright, so this is what I'm thinking so far. I'm thinking 22nd place for now. So there we have it for now. So unless there's any other comments there. No, nothing. Okay. So for now, what we have is Higurashi 25th, Anohana 24th, Kyosogiga 23rd, Attack on Titan 22nd, Ping Pong Animation 21st, Mob Psycho 100 20th. I just realized you can't see. Mob Psycho 100th 20th, NHK 19th, The Eccentric Family 18th, Hoseki no Kuni 17th, 16th Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, 15th Bakano, 14th Cowboy Bebop, 13th Madoka Magica, 12th Steins Gate, 11th Clannad, 10th Monster, 9th Neon Genesis Evangelion, 8th Fate Zero, 7th Black Lagoon, 6th Gankutsuo, 5th Akage no En, 4th Ashita no Joe, 3rd Hajime no Ippo, 2nd Loop on the 3rd, and 1st Aria the Animation. I'm bumping up with Shoten Kazoku and Kyosogiga on my watch list after the stream. Well, hold on. I mean, you should do that, absolutely. But I don't know if I want to have the Eccentric Family at 18th. I think that is too high. I really rate it. I really do. But I'm thinking something more along the lines of like... something like this. For me, swap Black Lagoon with Monster. I'll have to think about that one for a little bit. I want to see something else real first. There was something else I had in mind. I think I'm going to move Madoka Magica, actually. I don't think that should be above Cowboy Bebop, personally. I think I would put it down here. Like so. Do this. Actually, no. I'll change my mind again immediately. I'm going to do this. Like so. Under Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex as well. Not under Hoseki no Kuni. I think that is fine. I've seen Gankutsu on the list. So I would swap Fate Zero and NGE. Yeah, actually, you know what? I agree with you. So what I'm going to do then is like so. Fate Zero, NGE, and I think I would do even this right here, like so. I think that looks a little better. Having Galleon above Black Lagoon above Fate Zero. Monster and Black Lagoon changing places. Well, that would then put Monster in 8th and Black Lagoon 9th. Fate Zero 10th. I don't know. I don't know if I like Monster enough to do that. Monster's really good. I just don't know if it's there. I will also do this. Yeah, here. So, Stansgate, Cowboy Bebop. No, I think Cowboy Bebop can stay in 12th. Man. NHK above Mob Psycho, I think that's fine. Ping Pong the Animation above the Extended Family, yep. Attack on Titan above Kyoso Giga, sure. Anohana Higurashi. I'm thinking I'm starting to see something that I like. I'm thinking I'm starting to see something that I really like, actually. Yeah. I could be fine with this. Anybody else have any final requests? Anything that should be considered that I haven't considered yet? And if you do, any reason for why you think it should be like that? A show that should be higher, a show that should be lower. Not Monster above above Black Lagoon, it's just not happening. Hajime no Ippo, Swap Loop on. You know what? Sure, I can actually agree with that. Lupin, I really like Lupin, but Lupin has more weak episodes in my opinion. It's also has more. Just join, but maybe Golden Kamuy. I don't think we're going to be adding any more shows to the list. I also don't think I would put Golden Kamuy in the top 25. Personally, I don't particularly like that show. So, yeah. Master Keaton, Monster in my opinion. Master Keaton, I mean, yeah, again, not adding any new shows. Master Keaton is, I don't know if it's better than Monster. I do like Master Keaton, that was really good. Definitely. I don't know. I just don't particularly like Golden Kamuy as well. So, but again, we're not adding any shows. We've already been through enough shows. Adding more shows will just be pointless. And yeah, Higurashi 25th, Anohana 24th. I'm gonna do this as well, actually, I think. There we go. Anohana could be 25th, and Higurashi 24th. Yeah. Yeah. Can't make up my mind. Higurashi, I don't know, Kyoso Giga. Yeah, I think that seems more fair. I think I'm also gonna do. I think I'm also gonna do this. Alright, so Eccentric Family under Attack on Titan, pushing Attack on Titan up one more spot for all the Attack on Titan, and I just realized you can't see because it's too far down. Bottom of the list is a bit cut up, yeah. Sorry about that. Oh, let me actually... I should have done this a long time ago, honestly. Actually, you know what, I can't be bothered. I'm not going to resize it now. I have this sized in a bit further than I thought I did, so, but whatever. It is fine. It'll just have to be like this. Kyosaki ga Anohana, Higurashi, the Eccentric Family, Attack on Titan, Ping Pong the Animation, Mobsec 100, NHK, Ozaki no Kuni, Madoka Magica, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, Bakano, Clanad, Cowboy Bebop, Steins Gate, Monster, Fate Zero. Why exactly is... right, that's why. That's annoying. We should do this. There we go. Oh, they're all the same size. Alright. Okay, I think I'm satisfied. Fun like this? Are we all in agreement? Are we all in agreement that my taste is impeccable? I have the best taste of all time? No, nobody disagrees? Okay, cheers. I'll give all of you 2 seconds to respond. 1, 2, okay, nobody responded. Great. Great, that means I'm right. No Gundam, yeah, sadly. You are talking to somebody who doesn't particularly like Gundam. It's a shame. It definitely, like, again, if this wasn't based on my list, if this was just a general top 25, there's absolutely an argument to be made that Gundam belongs in a top 25. But, again, this is literally just based on my list, so... yeah, and I sadly just don't enjoy Gundam very much. I enjoy some Gundam, but like as a whole, I just could never get into it. I would put some things like Trigun, Rosa Versailles, and Real Drive. Trigun I don't disagree with. Rosa Versailles I haven't seen yet. I still need to watch that. That is important. Real Drive I don't think I've seen. Yeah, really good list otherwise. Alright. Well, that's good. Seems like we're all in agreement. All in agreement that this is the top 25 anime of all time. 100% objective. Definitely 100% objective list, yeah. It's the greatest anime of all time. The greatest 25 anime of all time. So, I'm going to say that's it then. And I'm going to post this on Twitter, probably. Like Yata recommended. Mostly because I just want to see if anybody's going to be mad at me for this. Brilliant list. Thank you for taking the time to make it. I'm glad. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And I'm glad you guys decided to stay here with me and watch this series process. I know it's not the most visually interesting, just watching me sort of look on Mal and then moving stuff in a Word document, but originally I wanted to make something a little bit more visually interesting, but sadly the things I had planned didn't quite pan through, and it didn't work out. And I want to use channels, like use images and stuff, but it can't be big enough, and then it's like there was a whole problem with that, and then it would have to like specify what each image is all the time, and it's just it became more work than I wanted it to, and yeah, just not worth it. So yeah, I definitely want to do something like, not necessarily like this, not another 25, but you know, I definitely want to do more, like I said before, more live streams in general, more anime related live streams in the future as well. And hopefully something a little more interesting than this, but still, it was fun. It was definitely fun. Know you're under arrest? Yeah, I know. Know you're under arrest. Sorry. Aside from the Malcore top anime like Gintama and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, the one I want to see the most they recommend is Fruit Basket, since it gets recommended as top shoujo always. I've heard that. I watched the new Fruit Basket. It was okay. No, not bad. Didn't particularly like it. Have I seen Dorohedoro? I have indeed seen Dorohedoro, yes. Or Genshiken. I've not seen Genshiken yet. Dorohedoro I've seen. Somebody is messaging me. Something fierce. Dorohedoro more suited for top 25 manga, to be honest. I can believe it. I can believe it. I definitely wouldn't say it as the top 25 anime. Same as Playmore and Berserk. Berserk, yeah. Berserk, the unadaptable. Playmore. I don't know if I agree with Claymore as a manga, just because like I read part of the Claymore manga. Like I like Claymore, but I have certain issues with the manga as well. Mostly with the sort of how it looks. I feel like there's so many like it's not the greatest like visually speaking in terms of like character design and like same face issues and like how like washed everything is a lot of the time in that manga. Like it was, I don't know, reading it was just reading through the Claymore manga was like the fucking it was not very fun a lot of the time because of that. It was just like I'm looking, I'm trying to fucking see what's in it. And that's not it. But yeah, that's top 25. And I think that's gonna be it. I think I've been streaming for 3.5 hours. And I think it's time to take a break. Rest my voice. In general. And then tomorrow is back to working on videos. It definitely has the same face issue, but the creature design and choreography was something for sure. Oh yeah, definitely. Like, it's not bad. It's not bad manga or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. Top 25? Top 25 is always weird. Well, top anything is always weird, because it's just like... Well, what's your qualification? Have you seen everything? I don't think so. But alright. It's been fun, but it's time to end. Hope you all enjoyed this little 2-part stream that I was only meaning to make 1 part, but, you know, it went on a little bit longer than I thought it would. Hope you all had fun. I had fun. It's always fun talking to you guys. It's something different getting to talk to you guys directly instead of, like, uploading videos. Videos is fun to make, but it is a little different to get proper interaction with a video, because it's more like me just talking at you guys. Streaming is a very different beast. But yeah, that's fun. Peace.